minute to reach minimum safe distance.
Talk brunch, served hot.
Talk Brunch Live. Ric Dara, Captain Brunch here. Ric Destin Frazier.
Welcome to the greatest podcast of the 21st century, Beaches. Can you write a monkey ass catchphrase like that? It'd be shameless.
Yeah. We got a lot to bring to you tonight, folks. Thank you for joining us once again. I know it's only been a short 24 hours, if not less or more, depending on your time zone, from when we brought you the post show last night for Backlash, almost Blacklash, if it would have gone a different way. Oh yeah, but tonight we're going to get into some stuff that's been going on in the world of wrestling, some federations that are going to be returning after a long hiatus, wrestling schools that are going to be opening at other wrestlers and exchanging words that they may wish to take back someday, takedown notices from indie companies, copyrights, arguments, all kinds of heat across the wrestling world, as well as some new information that is broken about what happened in Saudi Arabia. Now that people are angry, they're starting to talk, like I told you, it was eventually going to come out. And yeah, rest in peace certain action figures. Go over the weeklies. And the big change, obviously, Paul Heyman's departure and what it means for creative. All of that, and a special edition of Ric's Rant, where I have some stuff to say in regards to the community and other communities and us and other people and so on and so forth. Don't worry, don't freak out. It may not all be bad.
And you with the face.
And you with the face. Yeah, you with the face over there, you little pasty bastard. You know who you are.
We see you, motherfucker.
We see you.
Don't turn away, bitch.
Yeah, don't turn off now.
Don't be scared.
Oh boy. So, what is going on?
Nothing much. I mean, it's been quite the fun week. Of course, thank you everybody who hung out for Backlash post show last night. That was a blast.
Yes, thank you. There were we're simulcasting now. We'll see how long that lasts, and I'm going to get into why in a little bit during the Ric's Rant. But we're simulcasting, so we're on Mixer, which is our home base over here. I consider at this point we're on TalkBrunch.com, but we're also at now we're simulcasting to Twitch and YouTube, as well as Twitter. On Twitter's Periscope live feed over there. So we have it across the board here. That being said, thank you. There were about 100 of you live, which might not be a lot to some people, but hey, 100 live simultaneously, because we looked over there during the poll show yesterday. So thank you to that. Even if you're just lurking and not typing, great. Thank you. Thanks for the support. And if you decide to type, also thank you as well.
Yeah, we don't bite.
Yeah, we really don't. I'm just noticing a lot more activity going on, and that's cool. We really appreciate that. We're very patient about those kind of things, and yeah, that's about it. So what do you want to start this with?
I mean, hell, we talk about returns. After Backlash, we got the return of The Last Ride, episode 4.
They should change the name of it to The Longest Ride.
Right. You don't take 2 weeks off and then be like, the last one, when this ride gonna end? But yeah, really good episode as usual. It gets better every time. This episode started off a little bit different. I think they kind of went. Mark Calloway took us back through the career of the Undertaker talking about how he'd basically made up his mind, say 30 years ago, that this was going to be him all the time. Because you always heard you hear the phrase back in the day, protect the business. Pretty much don't let them see who you really are. He literally decided, I'm dead man all day, every day. To the point where they even talked about, and I think they showed footage every now and then, where you'd see him and he legit was that guy the whole time, and everybody else is just all normal, happy-do-lucky. They showed us Scott Hall almost giving him a little smirk, and he's just no-selling everything.
Yeah, now I did see, not to cut you off, but I did, in passing, just having the WWE Network in the background, catch, I think, part of what you're talking about, where he spoke a little bit about how this character, he took it as an investment. And if you see, like with some people, you see this guy here and he's in this gimmick, but then you see him doing some other thing, you start to take the character less seriously. And then now it's common for that kind of stuff to happen. But back then he just wanted to be this character. And even there were, I forget who it was, it might have been Kurt Angle, but or someone mentioned that they felt like they knew more about the Undertaker than about the actual guy Mark.
That was actually Mick Foley.
Right,
Foley
right.
had said he hasn't called him Mark in 20 years.
Yeah, and he just talked about how he wanted this to be a work. So it's kind of funny because a lot of people thought, oh man, this guy's really obsessed with the gimmick. And when you really think about it, no, he looked at it as a good business move. Like, I want this to really put this character over. And the best way that I could put this character over is to stay in this character at all times.
Yeah, he mentioned how fans would leave him alone just because they didn't know what he was going to do.
Because they genuinely had no idea what was underneath the gimmick of The Undertaker. You know, you've never seen any point where he broke that character. And we spoke about it on here before, that DVD that I have. I forget what it's called.
I think it's like best of like backstage, like best after Raw moment.
Yeah, something with after Raw, and it was pretty much because anytime anyone who's ever been to a pay-per-view or a Raw, there's always something cool that happens at the end. It's just for the fans. They always have like someone pick up a mic. Like when I've been there, when The Rock's there, like he's done crazy, like really ridiculous promos and just funny stuff. So there's always some sort of a thing happening, and they had a moment, and we spoke about this on here years ago, where they were trying to get The Undertaker to do a spin-a-rooney. And
they tried for like 10 minutes.
Oh man, if you guys can catch it, you could probably find it somewhere on YouTube. But if you watch that, the way that man, you can see the annoyance in him
because he knew they wouldn't give up
going down. And then Vince even comes out. Did you watch it before, Destin?
I'd seen it because I remember you showed it to me once before.
Okay, yeah, because then even Vince
and it was just funny watching him get more and more. What did he look at Triple H one time and it was
Triple
just like,
H came out too. Triple H, yeah, and he never broke character. The way he got out of it was when he looked like he was about to do it. I believe he grabbed and chokeslams Triple H, and he does Undertaker stuff, and everyone scatters. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. This man does not break character.
Yeah, and it's kind of so funny. Triple H. No, it's actually they show a clip of. It's probably one of my favorite ones I actually forgot about. But they showed when JBL. I think he said something along the lines of like getting an RV, take like a 1,000-mile hike or something, like a 1,000-mile drive or something like that. And it was just funny getting to see. It was so funny seeing him do that. And then he goes, "I didn't get you, but I got me." And I was like, "Oh my god." Because like that was the bit for years. Everybody trying to get him to do it. Everybody trying to get him to break character in any kind of way. And it was the hardest thing to do. And sweet baby Jesus, I have found the bit.
Yeah. How long is it? I remember it being a really long one.
It's probably like 9 minutes.
Oh my god, 9 minutes. We can't.
Yeah.
We can't do 9 minutes.
We could kind of skip like near the end of it. There was a point. What was kind of funny. The closest they ever got him to do it is because he called for Booker to do it. And the closest he gets in the whole bit is when he does like the signal like he wants to do it, but then nobody did. And Booker tried forever to get him to do this move, and he would not do it.
He kept doing his own spin-a-rooney, right?
It was his spin-a-rooney. Goldust did one. Vince did one, and it was like, yo, he's not gonna do it. But that was the running bit for years with like Steve. I think JBL told a story once I think they did a thing with Austin that he got him to break one time. And I can't remember where it was or what happened, but he got him to break just once. And like he was dedicated to that character.
Before we leave Seattle tonight, there's a little something that these people want to see.
Oh yeah, he does that. Okay, so let's skip Booker T doing it.
Yeah. So this is where it gets funny. Because
Spin-a-rooney. Now the people seen me do the spin-a-rooney.
I can't believe
He knows, like,
I can't believe he said that to him.
Now, I think it's time for the Undertaker Rooney.
The Undertaker Rooney. Look at his face.
he's looking like this motherfucker.
You bastards. Look at him. You bastards. And the pop they gave him for that. And he can't do it.
Can't do it.
And The Rock. I can't believe The Rock came out to help convince him. Like
This
they were
was what
trying
made
to,
this
they were
bit
trying
funnier.
everything. This was them legitimately trying. Look at that. We got to skip ahead here.
About half the roster is still right back there now, watching, waiting. Every single person in Seattle will not go home until they see Taker do the spin-a-rooney.
Dude, the
had that
way
look
they're
in his-
hyping the crowd on this guy to put him on the spot.
Taker had that look in his eyes like, well, motherfucker, I guess ain't nobody going home tonight.
Like they were trying
Look at him backing up, look at him
everything.
backing up.
I can't believe it. They could see he underneath it. He's like, "You bastards!" And Booker T showing him the spin-a-rooney again. Like they're trolling the shit out of the Undertaker, man.
Now I can't believe
Look,
for
Triple
one
H.
second that the Undertaker doesn't have the balls to do a Taker-rooney.
The crowd popped harder every time.
No screwing around.
They tried
No
so
screwing
hard.
around. This is serious business now.
Dude, when I first saw, there is a DVD. It's
That's
called
literally the title at the bottom.
the Best of Raw After Show,
listen.
and there's tons of things like that. This is my favorite
I
one,
know.
but it's
one
all
is so
backstage
What I've been
antics.
through, I know you've got the balls to do a spin-a-rooney. Hell, even I've got the balls to do a spin-a-rooney. All right, hey.
All right, let's skip. Come on.
You haven't got the balls, just say you ain't got the balls. He ain't got the balls. The Rock has never had balls. That's
See, they're
one
getting
thing
everybody to
about
do a spin-a-rooney on this.
Me, I mean, they're like two.
And then fucking Vince comes out. You pulled out the big guns when you called Vince.
When Vince came out, dude, listen to the pops that this crowd's giving for just the idea that this might happen. Like they can't contain themselves.
He is so pissed. Oh. Look at the.
Dude, look at how many people that command the attention of the crowd they have all in the ring at once. This will be incredible if something like this happened nowadays, you know?
And it makes it even funnier when you watch the documentary and you hear about him and Taker's relationship.
I think what everybody came here tonight to see is the Vince-a-rooney.
Oh, man. Are they about to add us? They're about to add us, aren't they? Is this thing about to hit us with an ad?
How dare you?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I think what everybody came here tonight to see
No, they didn't.
is the Vince-a-rooney.
I think it's just something in the footage there. There we go.
Oh my god.
I can't believe it. Are we going to stop to see Vince do the Vince
Yes,
Rooney?
we're good.
I guess we have to because I don't remember how it looked.
It was.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That was horrific. I can't even believe that we witnessed that shit, dude.
Whitest man on the planet.
Talking shit.
Like Triple H said, it's been a Rooney from the whitest man on the planet. How did I forget that looked like that?
Oh, I don't understand how you did. You own the DVD.
Oh, I don't need to see Triple H do it. Oh man, how many people gonna do it?
Everybody
Can we just skip past all this shit?
I think
let's see Triple H. It wasn't that bad.
fair.
I mean, after seeing Vince's, I guess anything would have looked better, right? So wait, let's go to when he.
I love how he chased the Un-Americans up the stage.
Let's go to how he got out of this. At one point during this, they all agreed on that ending. I don't remember what. I'll see it cuts away, but there was a point where like they all talked to each other really quickly, and I guess somehow they managed to put together that he was going to chokeslam Triple H out of because that's what he did. He chokeslams him during the Triple H freaking celebration.
Triple H came out of it and got chokeslammed.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to avoid Triple H's freaking Rooney.
It's kind of hard to. It comes so quick after you have to endure it.
Yeah, I guess you have to do it. So before this point, they must have agreed to that because everyone seemed to be prepared for this that to happen. Yeah, that's how they did it. That they kind of saved him because I think Triple H went over and spoke to him real quick. It doesn't show it on here, and that's essentially how they repaired it.
And then Taker said, "Nope, taking this off.
And that was it.
Getting the fuck out of here."
See, he did it. He would come back to doing Undertaker stuff.
Said, "Nope, I'm done."
Look at them. They're like, damn, they couldn't do it. That's the closest I've ever seen anybody get to something. So I give them credit. That was like that's probably the only try they're ever gonna get in their lives.
I'm in pain.
They tried so hard. It's such a fun bit because like they tried. They tried.
I love the Triple H. I didn't see no Rocker Rooney. That's all I'm saying.
Oh wait, what? Wait.
Now his looks good.
You ain't got the pin. Didn't hear you. The Rock said, "You want to see The Rock do the Rocker Rooney?"
The Rocker Rooney.
Where's the music?
At least The Rock had to get a pop. Had to do the pop from.
Here we go.
Gotta see The Rock's version of this. And of course, they ended with the spine buster on Triple H, who tried to charge him, and a people's elbow.
The crowd was happy.
Exactly, that's the whole point.
We take a room. We got to see a Triple H ass with him twice.
But yeah, guys, you should pick this up. The Best of Raw after the show. It's the DVD. It is hilarious. It's pretty long too. And it's just everything that happens after pay-per-views, and some of it's hilarious. I remember this is the one with Stone Cold. He stuns The Rock, and the way The Rock sells it, he's never done on television before. But like, he stuns him where he recoils back to a standing position. And like he's just standing unconscious.
He stuns him again.
He stuns him again, and he recoils back to a standing position. And then Stone Cold does like with his hands, like the fingers, like the finger photo, like if you're holding up a imaginary camera.
Oh yeah.
Like he is. It's ridiculous. Like I've never laughed harder.
I think on that one, the other favorite one is when Stone Cold was just going to random people in the crowd asking them what they do, and he got to the elementary school teacher. He's like, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's that elementary, and he couldn't get through it.
George is like, take my money. Yeah, I'm telling you, great. Their stuff is really good. Tell me again why we need writers and a whole creative room. Like no one wrote that.
That was just the boys. Like,
and even the finish, everything worked out perfectly. Look at how good that was. That was better. Like that was a better sequence with an ending than I've seen. I can't even remember the last time we've seen something that good, and no one wrote it.
That was literally everybody like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. After the cameras go off, we're gonna see if we can get Taker to do a spin Rooney.
Look at how good that was.
That was amazing. But yeah, as fun as that was one of the things that a lot of superstars mentioned was just seeing if he could get him to break. It was virtually impossible because he was so locked into the character, you almost couldn't do it. But it was kind of interesting as the years went on, especially now, we're seeing the character kind of just fade a little bit. And you get to see more Mark Calloway. Unfortunately, he had to talk about that match where that guy with the face dropped him on his head. But yeah. Michelle McCool had mentioned that she texted her doctor and was literally texted his doctor and was like, is he okay? because she usually asked him, and he usually kind of being Taker. He's always just kind of like, "Oh, I'm fine. Nothing really hurts that bad." She asked him. He outright said, "My back is jacked up after that."
Who dropped
And I
him
mean,
again?
it's it was Bill.
Oh yeah. Because I know he had a sloppy
Yeah.
match with Roman, but Roman didn't drop him. But yeah, it was Bill. I forgot. I
Even
forgot about
Roman
Bill.
dropped him coming from the tombstone, but like it was more he couldn't like carry the weight. Like Bill dropped him because Bill can't do shit. Like, but yeah, it was really cool seeing him reminisce about some of the stuff he used to do. He talked about how we actually got something so cool. We got from all the way back in 2012, Paul Bearer talking about The Undertaker. He talked about how fun it was when he had the feud with Kamala, watching him get to build the casket because he like built that casket. He's talking about just the memories going down the road, the fact that he even said he never saw him out of character. It was always Taker every time they were with each other. It was just cool getting to see Paul again because I mean it's been so long since we heard the voice. It's been quite a few years I think since he died. So it was just a really good lesson. Of course, they talked about the crown jewel, but what they kind of ended it on was Taker was getting to the point where he's eyeing AJ Styles because keeping in mind, people, Taker picked AJ for that match, so he was already at the point I think after WrestleMania 35 where he was just like, I think that's who I want next year. But one of the really crazy things, and this was something I didn't know. Of course, we didn't see him at WrestleMania 35 last year. He was in goal position all night. And he literally said, while it was probably one of the most painful things he had to deal with, the fact that he just couldn't be there, the way he talked about it, you could tell that was the first big step. Because it's now, hey, I've seen what I've had that time where I'm not out there. So it's going to make it easier now. So it looks like the way he's saying it, there's now the possibility that we could see Taker just not showing up at WrestleMania sometimes.
I have to look at that from a different perspective though, and wonder how much of that is being set for the drama of it all. Because if you go back and look, unless my memory is really betraying me, The Undertaker wasn't at every WrestleMania for a while. That couldn't have been the first one he missed.
No, there's a few like way back then when he missed Manias, but it's been so long since he's missed one. So I think for that one to be the first one, especially when he's at this period of time where he's trying to figure out pretty much when to call his shot, he's now sitting there like, okay, it's gonna be easier now. But one thing that that they showed in this was they showed the tag match between Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre and Roman and Taker. What bothered me about this was they showed after the match, after he walked through goal position, Taker was ready. He literally walked up to Vince and said, "That's it. I'm done. I'm good." And you could see Vince kind of creeping back in there like, "Oh, but you look good. The timing was out and everything." And I'm sitting there watching this and I was like, "Wait, that was it. We had it." He was ready to go because the general consensus about that match was that he felt great. He felt like he was moving good. It was literally a shoot when Michael Cole said, "When have we seen him look that good?" Like it was the best he'd felt coming before, during, and after a match in a long time, to the point where I think he had his finish. He was ready to go. And then Vince just managed to pull him back in. So it kind of bothered me because I'm like, he had what he'd been looking for had to have been a good 5 years. And it just got kind of like pushed back even further. So it's like when, if ever, is he going to have one of those again?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. But again, this is a lot of it is there was a point to end this way before now. Now it's just a little weird, you know?
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm hoping for his sake, I'm hoping he has one more of those in him just so he can call it. Because the unfortunate part about it is, and Stone Cold and some of the individuals mentioned again, leaving is one of the hardest things. Like for Austin, it seemed like the fact that he physically couldn't compete anymore, like they wouldn't clear him, gave him a little bit to the point where now he had to accept it. But with Taker, the fact that they keep making it to where they keep basically telling him like, hey, if you want to come back, you can come back. It's making it much harder. So now he needs to find what he found in that match at Extreme Rules. I'm hoping he finds it soon. Because, I mean, at this point, for God's sakes, how much more Taker are we going to get? Appearances here and there is fine and all, but it's like, I don't need to see Taker wrestle anymore. I think like it's to the point where now, how long is he holding on to it? But I mean, now it looks like
he might never get it, man.
Yeah, I think Extreme Rules might have been it. And that's the really depressing part about it. Is like, I want him to have that just so he can go out and be okay. Yes, like they said, they keep leaving the door open. Like, at some point, you gotta shut the door. Like, tell him, like, dude, you're good. That's it.
And unfortunately, he missed his spot.
Yeah. Twice. Because he was ready to call it on 2 different occasions in the time we've covered since this documentary has been going. But only time will tell what's going to happen when it comes to him. I'm hoping, like I said, I hope he gets it soon. He needs to get it soon because the longer it takes, the harder it's going to get. But it looks like going into to find what's going to be the finale this Sunday. It looks like it's going to be creeping up into where we at now with the match with AJ. Some of the build up towards that, and just kind of getting more into his head, I guess, kind of seeing some of the things maybe we didn't know previously before, and hoping maybe that he knows when he's ready to call it.
I think Undertaker and Sting should have fought each other and retired like everybody wanted years and years and years ago. But what the hell do the fans know? Yeah.
And the sad part is, at this point, it's too late now. You can't even have that match anymore.
You can't?
I think that should have been, that should have been Taker's, that should have been Sting's match when he came over. Like, have that just be the curtain call for the both of them and then be it.
Yeah, it really should have. And neither one of them, they managed to mess up the ending of 2 careers in WWE in not doing that. And it's not like I was a mark for Sting versus Taker, but I just think that in hindsight, that was a better idea than anything that's come up since. Instead, they both had really bad last matches. And even somebody like Seth Rollins, I believe, who Sting's last match was against, right? The Buckle Bomb was where it ended it all?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, Rollins is going to always be a legend, obviously future Hall of Famer and so on and so forth. Clearly, there's no question about that. But it's really out of place that that Sting's last match was with Rollins. What the hell does he have to do with Rollins? Yeah. Sting's last match being against Ric Flair makes the most sense. Because of when you look back at the old World Class days, Sting and Ric Flair were the 2 guys of WCW. You know, and I thought it was appropriate that the very last episode of Nitro in Panama City, the final match was Sting versus Ric Flair. Now, obviously, Ric Flair suffers from the same thing as The Undertaker, where he just didn't want to call it quits multiple times, so that wasn't going to happen. But I'm seeing it that way, where there were a lot of opportunities for people to take outs, and unfortunately, they did not. And right. Taker falls into that category. There were a lot. I don't know why it wasn't against Kane. Him and Kane also could have been a good retirement match. Neither one of them. I have to say that's the only time I've ever seen 2 big guys fight each other, and it was fully entertaining the entire time. And part of it could have been, if you go back to WrestleMania 14, just the fact that Undertaker was fighting Kane. You've never seen that before. You didn't even know there was a Kane, and now here you are at WrestleMania, and there's another guy like Undertaker, and they're fighting. You know, and it was very convincing. It could have just been the drama. But at the end of the day, that's really what wrestling's about. It's never really been about the moves. There are fans like us of the actual talent that look at the moves. But that doesn't make it what the sport is about. It's really about captivating audiences. And Undertaker is able to do that. And what keeps him fresh is that a lot of his matches are more based on that drama. Especially when it comes to Kane and when it comes to that storyline. Or Paul Bearer or him and Mankind. You know, Mick Foley, another perfect person to retire with, you know, or him and Shawn Michaels, another perfect person to retire with, or him and Triple H. You see, when you really look back at The Undertaker and the big feuds that made him, you know, and then the people that he made in those feuds, it's like they're all gone now. And that's the unfortunate part about it. There were so many doors that he could have taken. And no matter what they come up with, no matter what manner of rubbish, and I mean no disrespect, but I have to say, no matter what manner of rubbish they come up with as the end, it will never be as good as any of the ones that I named. It would never be as cool as if he would have retired with HBK, or if he retired with Mick Foley, or if he retired with Kane. You know, it's like it'll just never be as dramatic as that moment would have been. That moment of having two legends like that retire at the end would have been like like as dramatic as something like when you had Eddie and Chris standing holding the two titles at the end of the pay-per-view, like the two champions from the indies now on both sides of the company. It would have been a moment like that. And they tried to have that moment, but they did it like with an unsureness to it. Like when they had I talked about it before, when they had Shawn Michaels and Triple H and Undertaker all leave the ring together. You know, like, buddy, it's like they've had so many of those storybook endings already. If you keep doing it, it's going to eventually burn itself out. What else could happen?
Exactly. I mean, our last hope is kind of what I think we talked about on covering a Raw once is Edge.
I mean, Edge could work, but it's only out of desperation now. If Edge works, you know what I mean? It's more like Edge could work because this might be the last chance of this guy to have something that works. And Taker versus Triple H, I've been saying, that's a great idea. At this point, I think you'd have more trouble getting Triple H to retire, though. Like Triple H is not there. I remember when didn't he have a match against Brock Lesnar where it was like if he loses, he's going to retire?
Mm-hmm. He's had 6 of those matches.
And I remember when they said that, people were like, this might be it. I was like, ha, you fool. Ha. They gave away the finish. Like this absolutely. I've never been more sure. I've never been more sure in my life that he's gonna go over there when he said he was gonna retire against Brock Lesnar. I've never been more sure in my life. I would have bet everything I own, my heart and soul and everything on that shit without fear. It was like, this guy's not gonna retire. Triple H.
Oh yeah. And then they did it like 3 more times, and the fans bought it every time. It was
you think he's gonna get dramatically retired? That guy. No, like that. I think it was foolish that they made that match, because otherwise I would have wondered who won. It was like, oh well, he's definitely winning. Taker versus Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash. I like Kevin Nash's ending. I kind of counted as Kevin Nash's ending. You remember when he that might have been the last match that he had. Remember that final feud he had with Triple H? It was like a ladder match.
That was definitely his last WWE match. Yeah, in fact, I think that was it.
It was a ladder match. So first of all, right off the bat, these two guys, these two friends, longtime Click members, Nash gone through the NWO and now has come back here and all that other story. He's been to TNA even, I think, at this point. Has he? I don't even remember.
Yeah, he won like 2 championships.
And now here he is back. And even though the storyline was because, wasn't it originally something to do with CM Punk? Like CM Punk, Kevin Nash came and he interfered on CM Punk's behalf, but not really. He just did it for himself or some shit like that. Whatever. We get to this Triple H and this Kevin Nash match. So it already has all that great story behind it with the two of them. And then it was a ladder match. I remember that shocked me. It was like,
it was a sledgehammer it was a sledgehammer ladder match.
I was thinking, wait a minute. Everything about this makes sense and goes with the continuity of the story that we are watching for decades. Culmination of everything. Triple H versus Kevin Nash. In a ladder match, who is going to be the spot monkey of this? Is it going to be Triple H? I guess so. Because it ain't going to be fucking Kevin Nash. I'm impressed when he hits the ropes, let alone climbs a ladder. That being said, it was excellent. I remember this match was cool. They didn't do anything crazy. There was no 450s off the top, but it was cool. Was it Bad Blood 2004? I can't.
No. This was like 2011.
No, this was way later, man. This had to be after 2000, maybe 2012. Latest.
Bad Blood was their Hell in a Cell match.
So they have this match, and the match worked really well. And I felt like it was not only the end of Kevin Nash, but it was like the end of all things Kevin Nash. And I don't recall, you could correct me, but I don't recall there being another match after that. The finish is one of my favorite things of all time. Do you remember the finish to that match?
Oh, vaguely.
So, and I just thought this was cool because it kind of goes back to everything that these guys represented throughout their entire careers of the Monday Night War. But Nash is on his knees and he's kind of begging Triple H like he's done. And he holds up like the NW, the Too Sweet, essentially the NWO symbol at the time. He holds it up to him like, come on, man, too sweet me, bro, like while he's on his knees. And Triple H looks down at him like he's going to have this moment of pity. But then he kind of goes, no, fuck that. And he does the DX crotch chop and then takes him out with the sledgehammer. And I just remember, it was either the sledgehammer or pedigree. It was whatever it was a finish. But I just remember thinking how cool that it was that the final thing came down to like the NWO Too Sweet versus the no, fuck you, DX crotch chop. Which is essentially symbolic of the entire Monday Night Wars, and then he wins. So I thought that was really great storytelling there, especially for like old timers like us that liked it for decades. And you see how beautiful of a retirement match that was?
Yeah.
And here we are going. Here we are going. Hopefully, Undertaker can face Edge. You know,
God.
it's just not gonna work that way. There's so many outs that they could have taken, and they just don't anymore. Yeah, I kind of want to watch that now too. We should watch that later because that was really cool.
Really
I love
good.
the drama of that match.
That match was great.
I just love the drama because as a WWE fan, because I love WCW. As a kid, I consider myself a WWE fan going back to like Hogan and Warrior days. That was really the company that I grew up watching. So seeing that and DX being the representation of them, and then the Too Sweet being more of a Nitro thing, having that like Nash on his knees and Triple H taking him out, that's the kind of shit that was missing from the Invasion when they unfortunately couldn't get all of these big names because of their contracts, and we had to instead have like freaking I don't know, I remember who fuck we had, Hugh Morris,
Sean O'Hare,
and Palumbo and O'Hara and the other Alliance people. Like, that's the stuff, and they made up for it later on. I don't think people give them enough credit for that because that was more of a story of the end of the Monday Night Wars to me than anything that happened during that. And it was also a good retirement for Nash and an end to his career as a bad guy who most of the time he was a villain, so it was cool that he went out like that.
Yeah.
You see, good retirement matches, man. Everything that was in their careers came full circle to that. We don't get shit like that anymore.
We don't.
Chronic, yeah. Imagine that being the retirement match. Undertaker and Kane versus Chronic. What was that? SummerSlam of 2001, I think? Not even. It might have actually been the Invasion itself. It might have been Invasion. Because I remember they got rid of them. Whatever it was, they didn't last, I think, another match. I think that was it for them. There were a lot of people during that Lion shit didn't last. I remember literally Kurt Angle and Stone Cold showed I think it was Buff Bagwell the door, like literally, like they kicked his.
They literally threw him out the door,
and that was the end of it. I couldn't believe it. Like at the time watching, not knowing what was going to happen, I was like, oh shit, they really. And years later, we found that it had to do with that hat too. Like they told him not to wear the hat. I guess they were going to do a repackaging of him or something when he goes out there. And when he went out there, he put the hat on and was just Buff Bagwelling anyway. Which I guess maybe, we always heard about how wild it was in the Nitro days. You could almost go out there and do whatever the hell you want. But here, you know how Vince and creative is. If they told you don't go out there and do the Buff Bagwell thing and have the hat, there must have been a reason. And I think the last thing in the world you want to do, like nowadays, I can imagine if somebody did some shit like that nowadays, where they just told you don't do something and you did it. It wouldn't surprise me if there's like a device in their neck, like in the Rick and Morty story, and they just fucking explode in the ring. Like, can you imagine if somebody did that shit? Because we see gimmick changes all the time. You don't get to just ignore it. They're not advising you. This isn't just like some grandfatherly advice on what you should do. They do not want you to be Buff Bagwell out there. At least this is how the story goes. And apparently he did it. And they were like, yeah, motherfucker. Kurt Angle and Stone Cold will show you the door. And then they literally threw him out. Yeah, exactly. So it's unfortunate. I heard recently, I forget what podcast I was listening to with the Edgeheads, Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder. And like they took all their stuff away before that last run. They were talking about how they told them no more Kane. We don't want the cane, and we don't want the woo-woo-wooing or any of that. We want to have you guys being taken seriously, which is why you didn't see any of that anymore. I kind of didn't even notice. I just thought it was because they were jobbers and they just didn't have time for them to woo-woo-woo or spin canes around. I never thought about the fact that legit those things were just gone until they said they were kind of sad, because I remember Kurt Hawkins mentioned he was happy that his action figure included the cane. Like that's part of the character, and now Vince is just like that. Poof, nope, no more Kane, no woo, and go out there. You're a serious tag team, and it didn't work. Obviously, at least I don't think it worked.
No.
So it didn't work out for anybody. As a matter of fact, aren't both guys fired now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that couldn't have gone worse. So I'm not even saying that it's great when they take your shit away, but when they do, you could be fired even quicker. Like imagine if they went out there still swinging the cane and woo-wooing. It
wouldn't have made it down the ring. They'd have cut the commercial.
Oh yeah, they would have cut the commercial when we came back. It would have been the Ascension in the ring in their place with no explanation.
They rehired the Ascension just to bring them back for that shit.
You can't do that, and I get it. I understand where he was coming from at the time, especially during a guy who just went through the Monday Night Wars. As much as we kind of poke at Buff Bagwell for his wrestling career and things like that, when you really think about it, imagine if you were Buff Bagwell, right? That thing has been your meal ticket. Because you weren't just Buff Bagwell, you were NWO Buff Bagwell. He NWO'd it up more than anybody. Him and Scott Steiner were rocking those NWO colors across all brands when they were Wolfpack, when they were regular. They never stopped being NWO. And I think essentially they were good examples of the NWO brand putting you over. You know what I mean? Like there are people who, the original guys being in the NWO, like Hall, Nash, and Hogan, they put the brand and the name NWO over. And then in people joining that were undercard guys, the brand put them over because now it was cool to be with those guys, you know? So Buff Bagwell, that's what he's known for. Like, even though he eventually elevated, okay, and I use that term loosely, beyond himself as much as someone like him could, he at the end of the day was being asked by a company that he doesn't know, by people that he's never spoken to before, to go out there and just be a regular guy again. Like, we're gonna forsake all this Buff Bagwell, buff the stuff shit that you have. You know, and that'll be it. But at that point, I guess he should have just not worked for them, not just thought he could do whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I digress. Wild wrestling stuff. We haven't even gotten deep into the stories here. We're talking everything, right?
Right, we ain't got to the good stuff.
I hope he's banging the hot girls at least if he's doing porn.
Right. Banging the Jordan Graces, not the Sunnies.
There you go. Touche. So, anything else about the Taker before we move on?
Nope. Just I'll have my thoughts on the final chapter next week.
All right. So, I guess we're going to go into some stuff that I wanted to go into. Why delay the inevitable?
Yeah.
It's not really one topic here. It's just a bunch of things that sort of entwine together. And
some of y'all out there gonna get it.
And I don't really have like much of a direction that I'm trying to go with this. Fuck, you know, or a point. You know.
Swing wild, fuck it.
Yeah, right. Swinging wild here, really. Okay, anyway. I believe it was about 3 years ago, if anybody's been listening before then, even if you go back 5 years, we weren't always live. We didn't always have a live chat room. We used to a lot of the time do these shows canned and then put them on the air on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, the regular podcast place. A completely different internet and world back then, where podcasts that were just audio were a thing, more of a thing than they are now. I find even though they're blowing up, they're also in some ways declining, or what they were was declining. So anyway, we eventually started streaming to Twitch. Not really the show, but you know, our extra content that we do. For anyone that doesn't know, we do the Party Game Zone, which is essentially Jackbox games with audience participation, just game streams. We do live game streams and playthroughs and gameplay of different stuff with commentary on our channel when we're not doing the Talk Brunch stuff. That being said, we are known specifically for wrestling. I could put up a video of us gaming and get like 5 hits, and I could put up just a video, a post show or a wrestling thing, and then we get hundreds, if not thousands. So obviously we're the wrestling guys. So the Twitch thing became like a side project, and we eventually left and went to Mixer because honestly it was mainly the FTL servers that seduced us over. For anyone who doesn't know, when you're watching something on the Mixer feed, you're getting it in real time. Like, you're hearing it as we're saying it. We're seeing your responses as they are happening. Everything is happening in essentially as real a time as possible. There's not a delay where like you're getting it later on. And we like that because we wanted to do a lot of game show based stuff. What I didn't realize when we left Mixer, because we hardly ever went to our Twitch page after that, was that we were offered to be Twitch affiliates 3 years ago. But we had already moved to Mixer. It was sitting in my inbox. And it was just there. It was like, congratulations, Talk Brunch. You are Twitch affiliates and you're welcome to the other. For anyone who knows, I'm not going to go into the business aspect of what that means. But it essentially is an opportunity. There are still people to this day that were going for that affiliate status. I'm trying to bring it up here without getting an echo of myself. If I go to the page, because I know we're broadcasting there now. Okay, did I get in there? I think I did. Sorry, I know we're doing this live, and I'm now holding this up here, trying to get into my own page like an idiot. And they're like, who is
Fuck
this
it,
idiot?
we'll do it live.
Okay, I got in there. Okay, hold on one second. I just want to pause our own video because that's taking up valuable bandwidth here. So yeah, it basically I'm just going to read a little bit of it because when I click into it, it takes me to the affiliate page. But it said, and this is 3 years ago, literally says under it 3 years ago, not all who stream are as dedicated as you. You belong in a new class of streamer known as Twitch affiliates. Take part in the program and start earning blah, blah, blah. Thank you for the host. Much appreciated.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm just going to take down his name so that I credit him later. Sorry if it's a bit disorganized, but I'm just gathering my thoughts here while I'm doing all of this. Anyway, so we were given Twitch affiliate, and I never really did anything. And I can capitalize on it now. It's not like it's gone. It's there, and we can have it. You know, the thing about that is that in order to be a Twitch affiliate, we'd have to stream uniquely to them at times, which means, for example, if we were streaming the wrestling that we're bringing you right now, we couldn't simulcast like we're doing right now, where we're on multiple platforms. The stuff for them would have to be the stuff for them, and then the stuff for everyone else, because no one else has a problem. It's just them. They're kind of like the WWE of streaming, and then everyone else, like Mixer's more like the AEW for anyone who's into wrestling, and you understand that. So it's like, you know, the way AEW lets their guys still do indie stuff and go to Japan, but WWE doesn't. That's
Right.
sort of how you have to look at Twitch and Mixer. Where like with Mixer, they wouldn't care if we were simulcasting to Twitch, but on the other hand, you know, you can't do that, which was something that I had to think about. That being said, I didn't finish the affiliate process because I don't want to give up our other communities currently. I'd have to think about how that would work or what we would do. So we didn't complete the process. Because just like I mentioned earlier, we sometimes have over 100 live people viewing us on Twitter, sometimes YouTube, Twitch. We get a couple hundred on Facebook, literally thousands on the podcast platforms that are on demand. But I don't want to alienate anyone. You know, so right now, this isn't really like a grievance or a complaint. I'm just explaining how things work and reaching out to our community. So just so you understand where we are, I like to do that every now and then, sort of a state of the podcast address. Less of a Rick's rant for the first half. So anyway, earlier today, I just tweeted out what I felt were a couple of inspirational tweets, just based on stuff that I'm seeing on Twitter. A lot of people are getting stressed out in regards to streaming, because we're not going to lie to you, it's become a very saturated market. There's so many more people that I see doing what we're doing than there were when we started. Like it's quadrupled, if not more. And Mixer has sort of been in a issue with growth. We're hoping that it changes, but their platform has been, you know, the growth of it hasn't exactly been I would imagine where they would have even wanted it to be. But that's affected their community. I'm not here to talk about Mixer. They're a big business. They know how to handle themselves. They're big boys. But it caused, I guess, what I'm seeing amongst my streaming peers is a lot of low morale. You see a lot of tweets from people who are unhappy. You see a lot of people who are wondering what they're doing wrong. You see a lot of people trying to get things going. And it's just that the community is not there. It's a small, again, comparing AEW to WWE, it's more because this is a smaller platform for those of you on Mixer than a lot of other platforms. But coming here was a conscious decision for us because we wanted to grow with the platform. It wasn't like we kind of knew what we would be giving up because, again, we had enough of a following on Twitch where we were affiliates without even knowing it. You know, we were at least granted, you know, the option. But it was more like the opportunity, which is no different than the indie guys who went from WWE to Mixer because they wanted the opportunity. I mean, WWE to AEW because they wanted the opportunity.
That was awesome.
That was from WWE to Mixer. That's definitely a downgrade. But, you know, they wanted to grow with the platform, you know. When you see that, where it's like you could be world champion here in AEW, but you'll always be a mid-carder there in WWE. That's sort of the logic of going from Twitch to Mixer. There were a lot of people who realized they can grow and be bigger on a smaller platform, which it's definitely smart logic when you really think about it. So, but again, I digress. We have over 100 live people viewing us on a lot of these other platforms at times. And people are worried about getting these numbers, and sometimes the numbers simply are not there to get. So I tweeted early and I said, don't focus on follower numbers, spamming content multiple times, or complaining about lack of support. We focus on keeping our brand, content, and community unique and different from everyone else. Having a unique look, feel, and vibe that's all your own is important, and the rest comes with that. Too many people think content creation is plugging in a mic and playing a game or just talking about nothing. They copy exactly what others do and virtual signal for everything else. Content creation needs to be more than plagiarism and cleavage selfies. Now, for those of you who don't know, when I mentioned virtual signaling, it's when you pander to an audience. You basically put shit out there that you know it's gonna get likes. You know, you look cute, or you have your titties are out, or you're posing with a tiger, or you're taking a selfie with a car, or you know, you get the point. We've seen different cases of it. Now, this tweet was treated with generally positive feedback. You know, because it's basically saying, hey, listen, if you wanna stream out here, don't keep going. I see people openly, which I've never in my life done. I don't complain about anything on social media, but I've never, unless it's other people who I hate, but I don't complain about like me personally. Yeah. That being said, you know, I was just saying, hey, listen, don't focus on your following numbers. And then I see people, they're retweeting and tweeting and sharing and tweeting and sharing. Yeah, we advertise when we go on here once, let you guys know, let people know that we're interested. And then we move about our day. But I see people, they have one stream and it's like pow, pow, pow. And I'm seeing it because it's showing up on my timeline. I'm like, Jesus, it's the same stream? What the hell? It's like, you know, and I get it because, you know, but then they're like, no one's following this stream and no one wants to see me do this. And it's kind of like, you got to ask yourself, what are you doing that's so special? You're just some fucking douche sitting in a chair with a controller like any other fucking douche can do. And yes, that's the part of this that becomes Ric's rant. But like I said, so this
smooth that transition was.
This stream was this tweet rather was basically met with positive feedback, but there were some bad apples. There were a few people that DM'd me directly, insulted, feeling that the tweet was at them or it pertained to them. Some people legit unfollowed us from platforms as knee-jerk reactions. Some people went on to tweet. You know, when you see that sometimes in social media, that's what they do. Some people went on to tweet sort of at us without addressing us, like, you know, like just sort of an obscure reference towards another, you know, more in reference to
kind of one of those if the shoe fits type tweets.
Right, exactly. Where it wasn't, no one was tagged in this or anything, but it was generally just knee-jerk reactions of kind of going, just to give a general without giving away, kind of going, oh, look what that guy's saying, or, you know, who does he think he is? Which I'm the timing of it, just like we've done with the wrestling tweets, it was kind of like funny, and I found it funny because I'm looking at this tweet. And what's coming for you wouldn't be coming for you if it wasn't for the way you took what wasn't meant to be insulted. When I said again, don't focus on follow numbers, spamming content multiple times, or complaining about lack of support. We focus on keeping our brand, content, and community unique and different. Have a different look, feel, vibe, that's all your own. The rest comes after that. Too many think that content creation is plugging in a mic, playing a game, and just talking about it. This is a fucking fact. I've seen it. And what's a shame about it is a lot of people that are putting effort into their content are sort of being left in the mix because it's being diluted by a lot of people who are doing it that way. And that's the reason why you see frustration in some cases from content creators, not all. I've never felt a drop of frustration. I've never felt a single way about, oh, I wish I had more, I wish I had less. I'm content with exactly where I'm because I'm doing exactly what I want to do. This is why I say content creation needs to be more than plagiarism and cleavage selfies. So people that DM'd me, this is to you guys. The people that DM'd me and or obscurely made references as if I'm trying to have like my head in the clouds or whatever, that kind of shit, or felt insulted or felt that it was directed at you. I bet you wish this tweet was about you. I bet you think this tweet is about you. Fuckers, you know, automatically. First of all, for you to be so naive that to feel like our universe is so small that your irrelevant, shitty little whatever it is that you do was directly in our crosshairs with the amount of people that Destin and I deal with in a week alone. Do you understand how I never even divulge, because this is just the online, but I have my own personal life that I live and own personal things that I do. Do you have any idea the scope of shit that Destin and I are dealing with in a week for you to be audacious enough to think that we put up a tweet or a message to a community that detailed for your stupid fucking ass who's complaining about not being noticed? You can't have it both ways, folks. You can't on one hand say nobody notices me and I don't understand what it is that I'm supposed to do, but then on the other hand go, aha, that guy who's about 8 if not 16 times my community is talking shit about specifically me and my 0 followers. You moron. So which one is it? Is it that nobody follows me and I can't get anybody to, or is it that, yep, there they go, You know what I mean?
Pick your struggle.
Get out of here. Exactly. Pick your struggle. Write that shit down too.
Write it down.
Pick your struggle. Some people don't know who they want to be. You know? The victim or the hero. They don't get it. It's absurd to me. That's the stupid, maybe the reason why you don't have anyone following you is because people have a genuine sixth sense nowadays. They have a genuine insight of character. And they can judge your fucking stupidity by just looking at you or hearing you. Without me having to divulge information like this. Which, again, that pisses me off that someone would think that, yeah, that tweet is directly. And I know you've all gone through it too, where you've said something and there are people who thought it was directly at them because they are the center of their own fucking universe and everything goes around them. And that's all that there is. Idiots. This is the kind of snowflake mentality that I try to keep this community free of. People that assume every single tweet is about them. So if you reacted negatively to my tweet, congratulations on calling yourself out and exposing yourself for not having faith in your own content. Because I specifically named people that focus on followers, spam their content, and complain that no one is watching their shit. I specifically call out people that don't have a unique look, feel, or vibe, or that think that content creation is plugging in a mic and just gaming or chatting away while copying what everyone else is doing and sending out cleavage selfies. That means you fall into one of these categories. Because if I fucking saw that tweet, I wouldn't get insulted. I'd say, well, that rules us out because we don't do any of those things and we work hard on our content and we know that we don't just plug in a microphone and do whatever. We plan this shit way ahead of time and we make sure we have good material before we go out here. But for you to get upset for those tweets, yes, whoever you're listening to, because I know you hate listening, if you hate watching my tweets, they literally need to have the mentality, whether conscious or unconscious, to go, hey, I obsess over follower numbers. I spam my content. I complain that no one watches me. I don't have a unique feel. I think that content creation is just plugging in a mic. I use tits to get myself over. I copy everyone. He must be talking about me. So congrats, you pieces of garbage, on not even having the intelligence to realize that you exposed yourself as lackadaisical content creators that have no business here. And the shitty part about it is there are people who follow you that listen to this that are going to realize from your obscure tweets that you're one of them. So don't be surprised if there's a fucking drop in support suddenly. I don't always fire the cannons, but when I do, I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing. So don't try to call me out on a tweet that's not my own. Instead of turning my content into advice and general creative criticism, which it was, your first reaction was to lash out at us. That's why you suck. You should first prioritize your own content before you worry about shit like that. Put your socks on. Or at least pick your socks out before you try to walk in my shoes. And I've said that before.
I've never heard that one. That's wonderful.
Put your fucking socks on before you try to walk in my shoes. Write it down. Put your socks on. Put your own socks on. That's what it should be. Put your own socks on before you try to walk in my shoes. It's fucking crazy to me. And then some of the people that took the insult were clearly copying our material or copying us something about our style and then took offense. And it wasn't a matter of one direct person. It just goes to show how many people call themselves out. You fools.
Never call yourself out. Call
yourself out doing that kind of dumb shit. Because I'm making an address and you automatically assumed it was me getting at you. But that's the reason why I opened this talking about the Twitch affiliate thing. Because the Twitch affiliate was what made me have the tweet. Not other people's nonsense. The whole entire thing about followers and worrying about numbers was because I discovered that we were chosen for the Twitch affiliate thing. And everyone took that tweet that was just me sharing my thoughts on streaming and content creation for others that I saw hurting as me looking at their shitty little light bulb streams that I didn't even realize existed till I started to see the offbeat nonsense.
Some people are mad that their Anthem streams aren't going anywhere.
You're doing this. The reason why you're doing this and the reason you're not noticed is because you're doing exactly what everyone else is doing. And there's nothing unique about whatever content you're making. And what proves it is just the amount of people that can take that as an insult and the amount of people that it could pertain to. Your answer is in your own hatred. The fact that there's so many that are doing the exact same thing. You know?
Yeah, simple as that.
So again, I'm not trying to. I didn't want to freaking throw anybody under the bus. And as far as the Twitch affiliate thing goes, we'll keep you posted. You know,
it's still thinking about it. Like,
yeah, we'll keep you posted about what we're going to decide to do or how we're going to go about that, or if we're going to go about that, because I was never here. If I was here to make money, I would just, kiss somebody's ass and get a fantastic top of the line ass kissing position somewhere in Microsoft or Google or something. You know what I mean? It's like we have the know-how and the knowledge. Obviously, we're running whatever the hell we want to do here. So if it was about money, I would be an endeavor. I'd go into stocks and trade. It's like, you can make your hobbies your money, which if it was to come along in a good amount, doesn't mean I don't appreciate the donations and the support that we do get here. But if it came amount in like a wealthy amount, great. But if it never did, I wouldn't care if I didn't get $1 because I'm doing it not for those reasons. So that doesn't mean I would become affiliate just because the thing's there. And even becoming affiliate doesn't mean that the money is there. Okay? But it's just funny to give a little bit of advice in general on social media. And you get people that are so salty about where they are that they automatically think everybody's paying attention to them while crying about nobody paying attention to them.
some people unfortunately can't handle reality, and the unfortunate part about it is a tweet that's just giving people advice is making them face reality.
Exactly. And this is the reason why I tell them, put on your own socks before you walk in my shoes or Destin shoes or our shoes in general. Put on your own damn socks.
Yeah. Like, you couldn't have said any better. When it comes to outside of the brand, there's so much stuff you and I both deal with on a daily basis. Like, if you're getting picked out specifically, there's a pretty good fucking reason for it.
And
we don't often pick out people specifically.
And not for nothing, we socialize and we do stuff with bigger content creators than ourselves. I don't need to mention names on here. We've mentioned before, anyone who follows our community could put 2 and 2 together. But we socialize with bigger content creators than ourselves, and we have discussions among ourselves about what people are doing and who's copying who and who's trying to do what. And it's funny to think that people would sooner believe that this is directed at one person, and not knowing any of the social interactions I've had with others that we've discussed these very topics with. They get into the streaming game a weekend ago, a lot of you guys, and then within a week think that everything's about you. Like, you didn't even fucking exist.
Nobody knew who you were.
You know what I mean? Like, you didn't even exist. And some of that's directed at a few people who I saw get salty because of it. But yeah, you didn't even exist like a fucking weekend and a half ago. And now suddenly everybody, and everybody, if you don't like me, it's like, look, you didn't even fucking exist before. What are you talking about? Are you nuts? We've been doing this since 2014. Nonstop. And now somebody who hasn't even been here for a fart worth of time is ready to go to war.
I knew what the PS5 looked like before you showed up. Like, really?
It's like ridiculous.
By the way, if you haven't seen it, the memes, dear God, the memes.
You should put their face in that and slam it in. In the Trapper Keeper. That really just agitates me, though, that people, wow, if you don't like, I don't know what there is to like. Dude, you've been here like 8 days.
I have to know what you're about to like you or not. Like,
there's wrestlers who haven't left the loop that they're in, traveling wise, in the time that this person's established themselves and taken a stance against us. Fucking little psychopaths out here. I think that's enough. Is it? I don't know if it's enough. We should let the chat decide.
You feel better?
I could go all night like Captain America. I could go on.
Oh.
I'm not allowed to address my community that I built and worked at for 6 years because I might insult some motherfucker who just decided that he was gonna fucking put a mic on his round fucking Gumby head a week and a half ago.
That visual just fucked me up. That round Gumby head. Oh God. All I'm saying is we sure enough mentioned the chat room about doing the shoot episodes, so it might have been a taste.
Yeah, no, we did speak about it. A lot of people didn't know what happened with past brunchers, or they asked the history. And I always said I wouldn't bring it up unless somebody wanted to know. And I said, if there's enough votes, we can do a shoot. We can talk about it. Just be careful what you wish for, because I can defend myself. One of the things, I'm one of the most honest people in the world that you find, and that's an advantage for me. because when you're honest, you could just talk without thinking about a lot of things. You just let your mind process it. You work through your processor and nothing passes through your hard drive. And that's sort of the way my mind works. I don't have to think or rethink what I'm going to say because I'm not bullshitting. So if there was enough demand, which I haven't decided yet, yeah, we could go into the history of brunches, which I have
All
the
I'm
rights
saying
to.
is freaking
And,
if co-host votes count, I'll put mine in.
you know, we could do whatever here, dude. I don't hold back here. I try to provide the content that people ask for, and I knew this was going to be something that was going to come up, so I decided, hey, let's be preemptive about this.
Yeah, speak up, guys. If y'all want it, you ain't got no problem delivering it.
Yeah, please.
Ain't scared.
Oh,
So they're probably out there late. Listen right now. Hi.
yeah, but no, just for people to fucking act that way, it kills me, guys. It kills me, you know? Like, such self-entitled turds.
This is what happens when your mommy tells you you're going to be the president of the United States when you don't so much as get like C minuses. Like, no. You're not a princess, okay? Welcome to reality, kids.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. But yeah, sorry for anyone who's just listening to this for the news, but I feel like if you're a regular, you're entitled to understand some of the stuff that's happening within our community. And like I said, it was more me looking at followers and just stuff like that, and then people taking it the wrong way that I guess already feel threatened by us, yet were inspired by us to be here in the first place. Isn't it funny the way that works? The people who you inspire to be here are the people that resent you the most.
See, it's because they had a little circle of followers like, you're going to be better than them in no time. And then reality sits in a week and a half and they're not better. And they're like, wait a minute, what happened? They said I was going to be better in no time.
And in the meantime, they're not better in no time. You know, I'm not going to feel bad about that kind of stuff, man. And
still eating cold mac and cheese with dial-up internet and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. What did I? I don't know why I associate mac and cheese and dial-up with your shame. Oh, God.
That is the good stuff right there.
Cold mac and cheese and dial-up. That's how you know you in the struggle. Oh, shit. It doesn't squish, it just crunches.
The cheese that goes crunch. Remember that? I always thought that was like how did they had to be creative geniuses to get that over? The cheese that goes crunch. When that's your catchphrase, you know that you're like literal like fucking Cornette Heyman levels of genius, because you got people to buy something where the cheese goes crunch.
That's a level of faith, and that's some faith in your product right there. That's more faith than some of these streamers that they got.
I like how you throw him under the bus again.
I couldn't stop myself.
He must be talking about my cheese.
Well, maybe if you don't go crunch, fix it.
Yeah, if your cheese goes crunch, don't get mad because I call you out for it. And maybe you're not the only one with crunchy cheese.
Oh, crunchy cheese bastards. Who else out there can go from Rick's rant to pure comedy in the drop of a dime? I dare somebody to find me one.
Oh, they'll try it now, and then they'll get pissed if I say something obscure about not forcing comedy.
All the while with crunchy cheese.
He's talking about forcing comedy. I'm not funny. My jokes suck. Unfollow. I'm unfollowing him. He might be talking about me. Talk crunch.
Crunch, crunch, nibble, nibble. Oh, God. They're drinking that fucking King Cobra mad as hell, wondering why the struggle ain't over yet. Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right, well, let's move along now. I do feel better to answer your question. I actually feel pretty happy.
Sure said, cheese.
You know? And if you're just on Twitter and you're kind of sort of, even some people who are just on Twitter, it's like they have nothing else. They're just on Twitter. That's all that they do. Then I'm also happy to have more of a platform than just tweets to reach out to a community. I don't have to be on anybody else's shit I don't have to do on it. I don't have to be a part of anybody else's thing, and I don't have to just settle for Twitter. I can do my own, and that to me is something you should aspire for before you throw stones in my freaking vibranium house.
Y'all thought we were gonna say glass. Nah, bitch.
There's no glass here, motherfucker. We're up to date, Marvel. It's vibranium. So that we don't get, we don't get sued by fucking Fox for the adamantium. Vibranium.
We got our bases covered.
The new strongest metal. Okay. We got to talk. We got to be serious now.
Yeah, we got eventually. Fucking.
All right. So, the latest news that we are hearing is that good old Paul Heyman has been released from his role in WWE. I have not really looked at the details up to this point. Oh, what are we vibraniuming about?
Oh,
it was
man.
Petty Village. It was a metaphor in regards to just communities and the way communities react to one another. You're gonna have to go back on demand for that one. But it was a long rant to me, just about a lot of people get salty nowadays if you're not following them, or they feel they're entitled to follows or support without really. I don't want to go back into it because you guys just heard from me. And I just kind of feel like people feel too entitled nowadays and should just be grateful and grind and try to be unique and stuff like that.
And if somebody gives you some advice, don't get sensitive.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like this is I just find a lot of salt lately amongst people who everyone feels like they should have. It's like, no, you should. How about you just be happy with what you got? Anyway, Paul Heyman, first bit of big wrestling news here. I'm going to be looking at this with you guys here. I'm checking some of the ringside stories that broke about this. They said that, I guess part of it was the Raw ratings weren't good. The third hour dragging, struggling above 2 million viewers.
I can't with fucking George, man. He's sad, see?
Yeah, that was the, oh my God. And it's being reported that Vince is more involved with Raw and SmackDown, which sort of made him and Heyman start butting heads. The fact that he's front and center became a thing, you know? Which, yeah, I guess that sucks because Paul Heyman is great as far as what he does. We're also hearing, according to Meltzer, he said that he thinks that there was a feeling during the pandemic that doing hot shot angles with people that aren't really working in that environment, he doesn't know he wasn't doing, although it didn't help. And the ratings to both shows were declining at exactly the same rate. Which, that's something to note there. If the fact that it's not like their other show was doing so good, right?
Yeah, so it's like, why is the other show not catching blame?
So seeing that, it's just kind of like, why was he singled out? But then again, they've been firing people left and right here. You know?
Yeah, maybe that was just their excuse in this case.
It's just a poor excuse. And we're hearing that there's been literal structure changes to all of the brands, to everything. They said that a lot of writers are going to be unassigned from the angles that they're working on and be put in other ones. People are going to be shuffled around a bit. I'm hearing they combine both writing teams, like not as one writing team doing both shows instead of having two separate writing teams. So it's all going to be handled, I guess, in the same way, which sucks because that's going to stop the shows from having a unique feel, you know? Which I think that's kind of the whole purpose. Yeah, we hear Pritchard is doing both sides now. You're right, Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah,
which
Bruce Pritchard is in charge of everything.
He's always been known as a Vince yes man, though, where it's kind of like all that basically means that Vince is doing everything because Pritchard isn't really a guy who goes into business for himself. Not that you should, but he doesn't really do much creative wise. He's just a guy who he makes sure not to get fired. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Which I guess that's what Vince, at the end of the day, whether he admits it or not, that's what Vince wants. Because they always say that Vince doesn't like yes men, but at the same time, Pritchard is not a guy who. It's not even that he's like a kiss ass or anything. I've heard people say that about him. It's just that he kind of knows the game. You know what I mean? The guy gets what he wants. He gets what the job is and what to expect out of it. You know what I mean? He's not going to go. He's taking his paycheck and going home. He's not going to go to bat against the owner of this company passionately and get into a big fight or any of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not his personality. And yeah, guess what? It seems to work out well enough for him that he's running both shows now, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, they're restructuring everything. Everything's changing. They're not going to end the brand split, but at this point, it's going to be ended. It's already ended with the writers, which to me automatically means that certain things are going to just feel pretty much the same. And we're hearing that it had a lot to do with Vince losing patience and Heyman building up the newer stars. And I guess he just expected Heyman to just start being able to push people right away. Now that they wanted to do these changes, they lost a lot of people during the pandemic, and now they wanted these changes. And he wasn't able to work the kind of magic that I guess they expected of him. So, and Meltzer has also reported that USA is not happy about this. You guys, it's important you never think that USA is just some logo and that they're just some people who sit like at the top of this tower in suits and just know shit by name, and they, so they have a general idea they care about. Like, no, they understand this at a level that we're speaking about it, and from a corporate level. That being said, they are not fucking happy.
No, they did not like him getting let go.
So that's very, very crappy. Like they don't want they didn't want Heyman pulled, is what it's being reported as. They understood who was in charge of creative. They understood what was going on. And even though they weren't happy with the ratings, they had enough insight to be able to tell that this rating dump has at least something to do with the way the world is currently and less to do with WWE. So it kind of sucks that the network that pays them was able to give the insight and chance to them that they were not able to give to one of their head writers. When your network is going, hey, listen, these ratings suck, but we get it. It's not you guys. It's that shit is shitty. So we're just gonna ignore it for now. I mean, what could we do? What could anybody do, right? That's what USA did. They kind of went, listen, what's anybody gonna do, right? And they shrugged. Okay. That's what they did. Thank you for the Sparks cooler. When we have an image up, I think that's disabled at the moment. But you know what I mean? Like, what are they gonna do except shrug?
Yeah, so sometimes all you can do is shrug.
Oh, we're gonna talk Saudi Arabia later, Hattie Vintage. Trust me, there's some Saudi Arabia shit to talk about.
You just hang tight.
Yeah, trust me on that one. Yeah, exactly like he said. You just hang tight. But again, you got this corporation, USA, going, look, it's not your fault. And then instead, you just basically ignore them, and you blame your head writer anyway. Even though USA said that this isn't our fault, it's your fault.
It was you. Oh, God.
So, yeah, oh God, indeed. But USA didn't like the fact that that was the change. And then apparently, from what we're seeing, Ed Koskey, according to Ringside News, Ed Koskey is the senior vice president of creative writing. He was vice president, but now he's senior vice president. He moved from SmackDown in September of 2019 and became lead writer on the Raw team, and now he has responsibilities to the entire company. So yeah,
it's going to be intriguing to see how this goes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we're going to see any difference with this.
Maybe not. Right.
So they're desperately trying to bring people back. And they also brought back the old lead writer, Ryan Callahan, and they put him into the senior writer position. And sources are saying people were surprised at this. And he got fired from them back in May of 2019 because he had issues with David Kapoor, which I guess is another creative guy, and they decided to fire this guy. So they bring this guy back as another writer. So Heyman was let go, and they immediately switched it around. They put Pritchard in charge of both overall brands, and they have two lead writers coming back that they previously fired. They seem to shuffle people all the time. Like they take hiring and firing more like shuffling. And
It's like musical chairs. It's weird.
yeah, pretty much. And apparently, people were worried about how this was going to affect Sunday's pay-per-view of Backlash, this past pay-per-view. And they said that there wasn't really anything that they changed, just because of the simple fact that it was already written in stone. They didn't want to do anything at the last minute. But that might start to be something that you see. You might start to see people who were getting pushed only because of Heyman now wind up flushed down the toilet. When you really think about it, Paul Heyman was pushing freaking Humberto. He was pushing Aleister Black. He was pushing Buddy Murphy. He was pushing the Street Profits. He was pushing Selena Vega. Those are all people specifically because of Paul Heyman. And I mean, like, there's no other reason. We've been hearing for months. I don't report it every week on here, but we've been hearing for months that the only reason any of these people are being used on Raw is because of Paul Heyman. So I'm going to repeat: Humberto Carrillo, Street Profits, Selena Vega, Buddy Murphy, Aleister Black are all Paul Heyman guys and gals. So,
And now Paul's not here.
now he's not there. Now, I'm not saying that means that you can immediately assume that these guys might not get what they were going to be getting, because clearly those were put as front guys. We've even talked about how they changed the Raw logo where now they're standing. A lot of those guys are standing in it. But it also means that it wouldn't surprise me in the least if it does change. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't surprise me in the least if, unfortunately, do I think that some of these guys are going to be de-pushed? Hell yeah. I want to be optimistic and tell you no. But that
We remember who this is.
I can't even. The only people who might be okay from this are the Street Profits, if you had to ask me. I don't think that Humberto, Selena Vega, Aleister Black, or Buddy Murphy are all okay. So Murphy might just be okay because he's with Rollins right now and he's already setting that angle.
Yeah.
Aleister's probably screwed.
Well, Alice was in the angle too.
Oh, but they could change that real. He's not as important. It's like Rollins, he's in the stable. Like, we got Murphy's in the stable. You know what I mean? Aleister's just there. You know?
Yeah, it is true. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
Yeah,
I just thought of what happened on Raw tonight. Oh God.
What? Well, I mean,
if freaking that was Alistair's replacement.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that. Remember to bring it up when we go there. But that might be some of the stuff that you're saying, that you're seeing. God. You know, the Drew McIntyre, I don't remember for the Paul Heyman push completely, but that's probably not going to change. At least Meltzer doesn't think that it's going to change. Charlotte and all people like that, Rollins. You know who's safe.
Yeah, we all know who's safe.
I just need to know who's not. Exactly. That doesn't mean these guys, maybe, who knows, maybe whoever takes over will think Buddy Murphy's great to keep as a lead guy. Same thing with Aleister Black and Street Profits and Humberto. But just as easily,
you could hope they impressed enough.
Just as easily with a roster that gigantic, the people that come in, which by the way are like new lead writers and everything from the time when you look at it, they recycled everything. They could just as easily pick whoever the hell they want. It doesn't have to be those people. So I didn't really analyze Raw enough today. I guess when we talk about it later, I will. But I can't say for certain if maybe tonight, since it didn't happen at Backlash, maybe we started to see people or events happen that are going more in the direction of these new writers who have nothing to do with what happened. What do you think they did before they got this job? They went back and watched all that Raw? I wouldn't wish that on anybody. They're just picking this shit up from here. I doubt that anybody has the time to go sit and watch all these 3-hour shows. Okay, now I know what's going on. This is what we're going to do next. They don't know shit. So maybe tonight what you saw, which again, Raw was a blur to me. To me, Raw is Raw. But what you saw, maybe tonight some of the things you saw were completely fresh because you have new writers. Maybe they said, hey, you know what? Where's this person at? Yeah, put him out there. I like that guy.
Right.
You know, what about this guy? How about we have them fight? You know, this is a completely different creative. You know what I mean? So some things probably stuck around because they were already booked, but a lot of things are probably going in completely different directions now. Is that good or bad? I mean, I don't think it even matters. It's not like they were in a great direction to begin with. I can't deny that. I don't know if Paul Heyman was the problem, though.
I don't think it was Paul. I don't think it ever. I think it was probably as much as Paul as it probably was Bischoff. Because we know it wasn't Bischoff wasn't a problem.
That's true. He just didn't fit there. He talked about it a little bit more. We never have that much time because we don't like running the long shows anymore. But he talked about more about that, you know. And then that other guy that got fired, what's his name? That the Joseph guy.
Oh yeah, Josiah Williams, I believe.
No, Christopher DeJoseph. He was another writer.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, they're saying that he was on a Zoom conference call with Stan Stansky, whoever the hell that's the senior vice president of creative services, and Kevin Moore, and the senior vice president of e-commerce and the venue merchandise, and Vince wasn't on the call, but we don't really know exactly what happened. But whatever happened on this call led to him being fired. That's all we know. So almost everybody is gone. Almost every single person is gone. I mean, I did say you should just fire all of the writers. I don't know if I meant like this.
Exactly.
Like, damn, there's new ones in already? You missed the whole space that I was talking about in between.
We'll get to that with Raw. I like that name, Chungus Ninja.
And yeah, that's exactly who he is. I read that. I still don't know who that is. So
it's just like one of the it's one of the guys in that's they say is a part of NXT, but he's probably just still in like the developmental.
That big dude.
Yeah, they're really like the what they call it.
We'll get into that. Don't worry, we're not going to miss anything tonight, I promise. But there's more news when it comes to good old Vince taking control of stuff, because from what we are hearing here, Vince, you all got your wish. Everybody was like, I hope Vince watches NXT. How come he's the owner of the company? He doesn't watch NXT. He needs to watch this. Guess what? Vince now watches NXT. So congratulations. Give yourself a self high five like DDP used to do. You earned it, bastards. Because now Vince watches it. And he's not happy with it. Or the ratings.
Congratulations.
So we're hearing that he's looking to change up NXT creative-wise. He's looking to have Raw and SmackDown people on NXT. So there you go, man. He wanted the man to watch that shit, and now he watches. No, couldn't just be happy that it existed. And you got Triple H and Shawn Michaels running it, and that they were watching it should be good enough. But nope, now you got Vince.
You guys just had the bitch because Vince was watching it. So.
And he has less to do now that he hired a whole new team of writers that he's going to let do their own thing. I mean, he could just yes them to death, especially with Bruce Pritchard there. So now you got to worry about NXT, and I'm wondering what they're going to do. Because everybody, for anybody who was bitching about Charlotte being there, you know what I mean? Now you got to worry about a lot of other people showing up there.
Everybody could show up.
Hey, listen, if anyone remembers the end of ECW, you probably don't, because it just kind of got washed away by Raw and SmackDown. Before you knew it, guys were just all over, and it was just another show.
Don't you know Ezekiel Jackson was the last DCW World Champion?
Yep, Ezekiel Jackson. That's right. They're going to quietly
You guys are going to get Ezekiel Jackson, fucking NXT champion. Congratulations.
Just let it snip away, guys. Is that what you wanted? You want Vince watching everything?
Well, guess what? Now he is.
Now he's watching all these shows. More than us, probably.
No, just know. When NXT goes to shit, I don't want to hear not one of y'all complain.
Now, listen, to be clear, I've always thought that Vince isn't fully the problem. I don't know what is anymore. I still blame the writers more and the fact that he keeps hiring them. Vince has had some great ideas and done some interesting stuff. So I hate to be, I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, oh God, it's Vince. I'm just letting you know that now it's Vince. So it doesn't matter whether I'm saying, yay, Vince, or oh, Vince. It's Vince. You know?
What you get is what you're going to get.
That's what you're going to get. You know what it is? A lot of wrestling fans don't get it right now, man. They don't understand. Look, I like that. I like that spark. Zelina Vega having a ring apron tantrum. Thank you for that, George.
Welcome to the club, Jack.
So there's going to be change. And I can't say the bad because I don't agree with the majority who blame everything on Vince. He created all of this. I think that there's some good stuff, but I'm just saying that at the end of the day, now you're stuck with it no matter what happens. And a lot of people who are younger than us are probably not used to this. So that's probably one of the reasons why lately this one's been getting more attention than a lot of the other times that there's been turnovers in writers, because you're not used to the fact that everything resets back to Vince and that that's all there is and you have to deal with it. This has been my whole life here. You know what I mean?
We've seen
Like,
this
there's no
1,000
reason.
times.
Yeah, there's no reason for me to be like, oh my god, this has literally been my whole life here. You know how many
We are sitting
I've
here
seen
literally
this-
like, oh, here we go again.
This is just the way it is, guys. This is the natural course of things. It goes to show, to me, it's the most normal thing I've seen in like all of 2020. This is how it's done. Vince defaults everything back to him, and then we go round and round and round. And yes, you were correct, Heady Vintage. A lot of it has to do, which we talked about before. They're not happy about the ratings, but they're not going to say, especially when you think about WWE, they're not going to say they're not happy about the ratings versus AEW when it comes to NXT. They're going to just say they're not happy about the ratings, kind of like they did with Raw and SmackDown. Clearly, it's because
it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Clearly, it's going to be because they're getting their asses kicked. There's no question, if and or but about it. At the end of the day, Dynamite did 677,000 viewers at a .23 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, with NXT bringing in 673,000 to the .20 in 18 to 49 demographic. This is the closest it's been. That's literally 4,000 viewers apart that these guys did. This is the closest that they've come since, I don't know how many weeks it's been. They've had like one hell of a streak though. It's been a while.
Yeah, they've lost like twice this year, and that's it.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely going to have to do with those ratings. So if you want to blame anyone besides Vince, blame AEW for kicking NXT's ass so bad that Vince felt I have to go in and save them from AEW.
Yeah.
You know? Because you know what? Even though people claim that Vince doesn't watch NXT, I suspect that he does watch AEW. And if watching AEW made him decide to watch NXT, which there's irony in that in itself, then here we are. Welcome to the Monday Night Wars, fellas.
Strap in.
You think that this is the first time that this ever happened? Did you forget that during the Attitude Era, Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara were the head writers for WWE, and then in the middle of the Monday Night Wars, they left and went to Nitro, and then they started controlling all the NWO stuff? You forget You forget that Terry Taylor was brought in later on in the middle of that Monday Night War? You forget all these things?
Shit.
And the first time I've seen this. You're going to see it again. Don't be surprised if Paul Heyman winds up somewhere else.
Oh,
are you kidding
God.
me? Paul Heyman's loose during this? All right. I wonder how long there's the no compete clause. Or does he have one? Can you imagine? Oh my God.
Oh my God in heaven.
Oh, Cornette watches everything.
Of course he does. You
listen
know how
to
we know
Cornette.
he's bitching about everything.
Exactly. I listen to Cornette enough to know he watches everything. Anyone following on Twitch or any follows on Twitter, YouTube, thank you for them. I don't know if we have everything set up for the simulcast right now. I'll definitely go and thank you all later on, though. We're still getting the hang of having this broadcast to so many places after all these years of not doing it. But yeah, I'm looking at this situation, and I can't really tell you what's going to happen here. I can just tell you that this has happened before. And unfortunately,
We've been down this road.
NXT is now sort of stuck in this shuffle, which, yeah, it's not the greatest look for them. And they're not in the greatest spot.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
What do you think is the best case scenario in this?
Oh, man. Best case scenario for NXT, this is the thing that I want to see. You talk about like the people from Raw and SmackDown coming down. I don't want it to be like, okay, Raw and SmackDown come by and they think, oh yeah, just put those guys over and they'll get the ratings. Like, no. If you want NXT to shine, you give us the NXT we know that we have. And that's the NXT that, yeah, I'm going to say it, is better than Raw and SmackDown on a consistent fucking basis. Like, if you want these guys to triumph over AEW, you make it known this is the top show. Not Monday, not Friday, on Wednesday night. This is the place you want to be. But unfortunately, especially in the case of where guys like Charlotte Flairs, all these other people, it's probably not going to be that way, though. I mean, we have, as they talked about on Raw, we even talked about last night, Bayley and Sasha are going home. They're going to defend their tag titles. It's going to be the first time I think those belts have been defended on NXT. So that's going to be good for them. But you got to keep going from there.
Yeah, and for everybody who attacked Paige, come on, man. I agree with her completely. It's like, and this is what I'm talking about. You're not allowed to say anything without everybody just getting directly angry at you. She mentioned that she felt that the women's tag team titles are being misused and they're just kind of in a shitty place. And everybody just like attacked her for it. It
I
was
mean,
like
they said from the get go they were going to be defending on all three brands. They've been defending on two. That's kind of being misused.
all the tag titles are being misused right now, if you ask me. But at the end of the day, it's weird that somebody could have an opinion on like that, and just because it's Paige, they treated it like they literally jumped on her. It was like, what the fuck? So she doesn't think that the tag titles are being used.
How about instead of jumping in, just give her a reason that they're being used correctly?
I mean, I don't think they're being used terribly compared to things I've seen. I mean, we had interesting, and it's more not because of even the defending of them. It's more just because the people they've given them to have been good enough to be able to have like interesting exchanges. It's the people holding those titles that keep the titles interesting. The Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss tag team was interesting. They are still interesting. You know what I mean? Asuka and Kairi Sane were interesting. They were interesting.
So far,
I can't complain
for me,
about that so far. And
for me, I think the only hiccups was the Iconics.
The Iconics, which I still like, and I think they weren't given a good rub. I still find them interesting. And now you got Sasha and Bailey. So I mean, maybe she's talking about the match structure or the amount that they're pushed or something like that. I have no idea. I can't say for certain. But I could disagree with her without being angry like that. Like, this is what aggravates me about the internet today. When someone says something you don't agree with, you can't just disagree with it. You got to unfollow them or unfriend them or want to cancel them or whatever. You can't just disagree. I disagree. Thinking about it, I think that there are worse titles that are being more misused out there than the women ones. And if anything, they at least always have a purpose. So I disagree with her, but I'm not going to just go nuts.
Like, for me, the women's tag titles are the ones that I find myself the most interested in. It seems like they're the tag titles that have the most going on at the moment.
I see you, George, with the whatever dude, Paige freaking Sparks.
Oh, George.
Yeah, so, you know. What can I really say, man?
Yeah, let's see what happens in Vince's NXT.
I like how that's what it's called now, right? This is.
I mean, we were talking about Hogan's Bullet Club a few years ago. Like,
now we got Vince's NXT.
Oh God Almighty!
Right, so let's see what else has come across the news here. Apparently, let's see. This is involving the Saudi Arabia stuff.
Oh Jesus!
Which we spoke about last year, where everybody was left on a plane, and there were rumors that they were held hostage and everything. Apparently, there's a lawsuit going on. Oh, I didn't realize that. There's a class action lawsuit against WWE because the stockholders want to know exactly what happened and why these people were kept for 24 hours. And two witnesses that are part of this class action lawsuit, anonymous witnesses, one being an anonymous WWE superstar and the other one that worked for the Saudi TV company, said that everything that was reported, that all those other people reported didn't happen, and that let's see here, there were armed military looking people outside the plane before WWE people were supposed to take off. They were all in black, and they were staring at them and blocking all the exits. Then the superstar said that the anonymous superstar said that someone didn't want them to leave the country. They said apparently a Saudi Arabian stewardess or someone who was in Saudi Arabia steward said that it looks like someone doesn't want them to leave the country, and the pilot seemed extremely distressed. And Mark Carano, anyone who watches Total Divas, you've seen him. That's the guy who tells you when you're not booked. At least that's what I consider him. Mark Carano apparently said that the Saudi what he is. That the Saudi prince and Vince McMahon got into an argument on June 7th during the Super Showdown, and Carano apparently said that Vince cut the live feed, and that's what made the prince pissed off. So this is court testimony now, which is what we heard, and then later on they all said it was nonsense. And yeah, it was called a hostage situation. And he received text from wrestlers on the way back saying that they were being held there because Vince McMahon cut their television feed. And And the second witness, apparently, I'm reading the sheets here, guys, so bear with me, that worked for the Saudi Arabian TV network, said that WWE and the Middle East Broadcasting Network couldn't agree on basic assumptions of a proposed deal. And apparently, WWE wanted $80 million licensing fee. Jesus, $80 million licensing fee, and a projection of $100 million over the top subscribers, which was based on the OSN numbers who watch WWE. And they reduced the price, asking for $50 million. Vince reduced his price, asking for $50 million. But this Saudi Arabian TV company felt that the highest they could go was $15.5 million, and Vince walked away. And apparently WWE told investors in the earnings call that they were close to securing a deal, but they were nowhere near close because this had already happened, which I guess is part of what the lawsuit is about. And we've spoken about this term here, which Ringside was nice enough to bring up again, but we talked about legally a smoking gun, quote unquote smoking gun, is a piece of incontrovertible, incriminating evidence, which is what we seem to have on WWE right now. So, as much as they were saying, oh, the internet, the dirt sheets, they all say these things that they say we don't know. It's like, you know.
You know what you did.
The truth always comes out, man. That's the reason I'm honest as hell. You know, it's like, truth always comes out. Apparently, whoever was in the WWE side of things, basically, according to Meltzer, did whatever they could to deny the story. They spoke to journalists and they denied everything. So I guess WWE, whoever's in this case that WWE sent, apparently, is there to cover it up. And apparently they said that one of the superstars went to a coworker and went straight to Tanner Relation and said that they wouldn't go back to Saudi Arabia. And others tried to do the same. But apparently they abused their power and the future trajectory of their careers if they did not go, which basically means that they decided, yeah, you could not go to Saudi Arabia or anywhere else. You could go home.
Because that's so reasonable.
What's making this an issue is the fact that it was all considered nonsense. WWE even went as far as calling it conspiracy theories. Remember? It was all just the dirt sheets going nuts.
Yeah, it was a conspiracy. It was a C-O-N conspiracy.
We have that button still? We should, right?
Yes, it should be still there.
Where the hell is our button now?
I was waiting for it, but I was like, fuck it now.
Yeah, I don't know where the hell. Man, we have so many buttons now compared to back in the day.
Right. And we still ain't got that Mr. Burns Simpson button.
That wasn't me, but thank you for the sparks, Cool Eyes.
That motherfucker's been throwing sparks tonight. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not gonna know where it is on the fly like that.
Yeah, that's one of them old school buttons.
Yeah, I have no idea. Sorry to disappoint.
We let you down.
Yeah, you would think it would be right there, but hey, I guess not. All right.
Yeah, we don't use that one as much, so it kind of makes sense of not being right there.
I promise I'll put it back. I don't know what happened, but I promise I'll put it back. But yeah, it is a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy that they kept that shit. You know, and then now it's coming out like I told you guys it would do.
That's the C-O-N conspiracy.
It really is. Not good at all. Okay, what else do we have on the menu to talk about here? Anything you want? If not, I'll just pick another story.
Shoot, swing wild.
Here we go. So New Japan, apparently they're back, or they're coming back, huh?
Yeah, finally returning after a good few months away.
I'm really happy about that, you know, because I could use a little bit of a refresh. They had a press conference where they said they're going to reopen July 15th. So you're literally under a month away.
Just under a month. Holy crap. I can't wait.
And this is after canceling 53 events. And they said the New Japan Cup tournament is going to be June 16th through July 3rd. And they're going to be changing it to the New Japan World Special New Cup 2020. So they've already been in the process of doing COVID-19 antibody testing. And for now, it's going to be empty arena like it was here. But you'll be able to watch it on New Japan Pro Wrestling World. So
it's good to have them back.
It's very good to have them back. And we're hearing that it doesn't end there because apparently they very quietly, while all of this was going on, had tapings in California.
So now you're in New Japan, USA.
Exactly. According to PW Insider, they said that about 9 or 10 matches were taped on a closed set. So we're hearing that Jeff Cobb, Rocky Romero, TJP, Clark Connors, Alex Coughlin, Carl Fredericks, and Mysterioso were in these tapings. Tom Taylor. So they quietly taped content.
That's awesome.
So you're going to have some New Japan content to look forward to.
Yeah, I can only watch last year's Wrestle Kingdom so many times.
And yes, you are correct. Who was that in the chat room that said, George, Impact is back too? That is another one that has returned. And
they're
unfortunately,
back now.
Yeah. They're like permanently back now. And no sooner than they're back are they having a conflict or one of their top talent. It wouldn't be the good old days if it wasn't for freaking Impact having issues with their top talent. But yeah, there's been issues with Tessa Blanchard apparently, where according to Fightful, she was supposed to be at Slammiversary, but she isn't actually promoting herself. She was supposed to send in promos for the TV tapings, and she didn't send anything in at all. So I guess they're having some sort of an issue, but she's been stuck in Mexico because of the travel restrictions, so we don't know if exactly what that happened. But right now, I guess they're having some sort of a contractual issue with her, and she has their title, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's still their world champion.
Dude, it's so easy. It's amazing that title hasn't ever legit been stolen like Vince was worried about what he calls the Montreal Screwjob. Because you know how many times we were on here reporting a story where somebody is off contract and left with their title? And now, and I'm not even trying to sound sexist about this, but now you had one of your knockouts leave with your originally male-oriented title.
It's like, bitch, this is mine forever.
I hope she keeps it.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? It just becomes part of her gimmick.
Show up at AEW and throw it in the garbage.
Oh, yes.
Can you imagine that shit?
Oh, it'd be magical.
This generation hasn't had one of those. Give them one. Give it to them.
You know what the bad part about it is? It would fit so much because it works so good for her.
Oh yeah, right. It's perfect.
Like she'd do.
It's perfect. Just throw their title in the trash. Let's have that happen again. It's been years.
I'm telling you, like I have been itching for AEW to get a hold of her because if they turn that girl loose, oh sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah. She'll be at, but that's the whole thing, guys. Apparently, she's supposed to be a Slammiversary, but they asked her to send in some promos from Mexico promoting the event and talking about how she'll be there, and she didn't send in these, which is not a good sign.
Yeah, so now it's a question, is she really going to be there?
So they're telling you that she'll be there, which is why you think she'll be there. She's not telling you she'll be there. So there is your problem right there.
Yeah.
You're right, she is a boss. And unfortunately, that's not a good thing to be right now when you have their title.
That's not good for Impact.
So I hope that I was in all seriousness, I hope they get it back. I hope they didn't fuck themselves here. Yeah, they don't care. They'll just draw up another title, right? They'll get out the Crayola.
I mean, hey, Moose has the original, has the last variation of the TNA Championship. They'll just make that the canon one.
Yeah, they'll dust off Jarrett's old gold fuck yourself title.
No,
The G,
no, no,
was that
no,
what
no.
the GFS, the go fuck,
The
gold,
GFW.
gold fuck
No.
yourself will be the name of this episode if we could.
Don't you put that piece of shit back on my TV screen?
You
I
know,
swear.
turn the ropes green.
Oh, and your neck. Or whatever touches the ropes first.
Oh man, Tessa, come on, Tessa, you're tearing me apart, Tessa. You're tearing me apart.
I hope she gets back to it though. She's entertaining to watch.
Yes, she absolutely is entertaining to watch.
She's a
So
little badass and fucking fun. Like,
I hope that this works out for everybody involved. I'm tired of everybody being pissed off and in angry contracts and stuff.
right?
So we are also hearing that good old Evolve Wrestling, a company that I have watched since the single digits, back when no one knew who fucking Kalisto was, when he was Samurai Del Sol, and back when Sami Zayn was El Generico and Apollo Crews was Uha Nation. And Roderick Strong was more or less the same.
Gee, ain't much change about Roger, but then again, not much is needed to.
Mm-hmm. We are hearing that they're having issues. So apparently, we're hearing that they're almost at the point where they're going to be selling their tape library to WWE because of their financial troubles. And there may not be a way for them to get out of it. So we're pretty much hearing that they're selling their tape library and everything that they have to WWE. Neither side has confirmed nor denied this. But that would definitely be the end of an era if WWE acquires them, which is the way that it looks like it's going to be. Ask Jericho to buy it. No, you know why you can't? Because at the end of the day, this is the company that WWE has been in bed with for a while. It's not even like they're just out of nowhere. Think about it. Austin Theory came from there. They have guys go back down a lot of the time. When you really look at it, Kalisto, Uha Nation, aka Apollo Crews was in there. You know, there's a lot of guys who...
Matt Riddle's been there.
Matt Riddle, exactly. There's another
Drew
guy
Gulak, I mean, Catch Point right there. Like,
yeah, so you got to understand that this is a company that they pretty much get first dibs. It's probably going to become another little subsidiary of WWE in some way. I don't know.
They're going to have a new live show on Thursday for WWE Evolve. Like,
everything's coming to life, but it's a different landscape. You know, it's a completely different landscape now. So that really sucks. What else do we got here? Dustin Rhodes, good old Dustin Rhodes. Apparently he's going to be opening up his own wrestling school.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. I'm surprised he hasn't had one already.
Yeah, wasn't he someone that we spoke about? If we could have 5 people on our writing team.
Yeah.
I think he wound up on there. But yeah, he basically said that his wrestling school's in the planning stages. He's always dreamed of having one. He's going to make it a reality. Hashtag Rhodes Wrestling.
If you call it Fountain Youth Wrestling School, how to wrestle forever.
That'll be great for AEW talent.
Oh, you know? Yeah. Because, I mean, that the kind of mind that the things Dustin's been through over the years, like... Yeah, I just can't wait to see like a bunch of little black range just running all over the place. No, I'm kidding.
Of all the gimmicks you could have remembered, his fucking WCW Black Rain.
7.
Couldn't they come up with
it was 7, but it got over.
Couldn't they have come up with something else that wasn't Black Rain? Anything else?
I mean, you didn't like his weapon, Darkness Falls?
Yeah. Why did he need to have like a gimmicky thing just because he was Goldust over here and they couldn't use Goldust without being sued? You can't just do whatever you want.
They're like, fuck it. Bin bag Goldust. Like,
terrible.
Or the time he got electrocuted.
No, I'm surprised the bot didn't grab that golden. That was a stasis comment there, but I guess it's safe enough.
And the bot was just like, you know what, the bot, see, even the bot can appreciate funny social media.
Yeah, what him and Marlena did in their private time is their business. I kid. But yeah, in all seriousness, it would be great to have somebody that experienced. We know he ran the Divas for a while and great wrestling family. I couldn't think of a better person if you can't have Dustin, right?
Yeah, if you can't have Dusty,
have Dusty, exactly. So, yeah, really, really cool.
Best of luck to him.
Mm-hmm. So apparently WWE has stopped Billy Gunn from using the name Billy Gunn when he's in AEW.
Yeah, he's just Billy. Like, we don't fucking know he's Billy Gunn. Like,
so is his real last name is Gunn?
I think it is.
Either it is or we don't know. I've never really looked or cared to look. But his son's name
I
is
can look it
Austin.
up.
His son's name is Austin Gunn, and apparently he filed trademarks for that and the Gun Club, and that was okay. Which I'm surprised the Gun Club worked.
Yeah.
You know, it's practically the Bullet Club, even though it's not trying to be. It almost sounds like the Bullet Club. It's the Gun Club, and it's for. I get it. It's for Billy Gunn. He should have just been Gunn and Son.
Gunn and Son. Oh wow, yeah, his name is not even close to Billy Gunn.
Wasn't it? Was it William something? Or
Not even close.
what was it?
It's Monty Kip Sop.
I do remember that name. You're right.
Damn. Ooh, I was not prepared to see that one. I fucking Googled him, huh?
That was almost worse than Shawn Michaels.
Oh,
Shawn Michaels with his Michael Hickenbottom.
yo, the sad part about it is every time I hear his real name now, you know what I'm so mad that I instantly go to?
What?
Remember in TNA when Voodoo Kin Mafia was calling out DX?
Uh-huh.
And they were using their government names. He goes, I'll see you at the Alamo at high noon, Hickenbottom.
I'm amazed that R-Truth is able to show his face back in this company after being part of that TNA shit, that Voodoo Kin Mafia nonsense.
No, he was never Voodoo Kin Mafia. He was gone long after that. Like,
I
he
remember
was
him being
gone.
there.
Now, I think he was gone after the Pac-Man Jones thing.
Are you sure? I remember him being there during a lot of the Vince jabs and stuff.
No, that was just well, at the time he was Kip James and BG.
Oh, so he left? But he was with them at one point, right?
He was with he was well there was a period near the end of 3 Live Crew when Kip showed up and he was kind of like working with them loosely, but like it was after 3 Live Crew broke up, and it was after he tagged with Adam Pac-Man Jones.
It's weird. I
He
always
was pretty
remember
much gone after that
VKM
angle.
being Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, and Truth.
Yeah, Truth was gone by that time. That was he had Roxy Laveau at that time.
All right, fair
Which was,
enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, Billy, son of a gun.
I'm still calling him Billy Gunn. They could fuck off. Like,
No, he'll just be Billy, which is what ironically what The Rock called him, right?
yeah.
Or I think it was.
Sad part, every time I hear just Billy, I'm gonna think of that freaking Lex Luger thing.
All right, so next we have an AJ Styles story here.
Oh yeah.
What exactly happened was he had issues with CM Punk apparently.
Who doesn't at this point?
So what is this story here? I'm gonna share first of all the entire news article so that you guys can see it in the chat room there. That's interesting. All right, so apparently what happened was CM Punk made some comment about people who are not participating in Black Lives Matter. And he sort of, I guess, called out AJ Styles during this.
Yeah, because AJ really hasn't said anything.
Okay. So this goes back to what we said a couple of weeks ago. So he didn't do a Black Lives Matter thing, so CM Punk called him out on it. What are
This
we,
was the
fucking
moment
7?
I realized. This was the moment I realized Punk jumped on the Fox just so he could shit on WWE and nobody could say shit.
And they
Because
asked
it's like,
him,
really, bro?
Yeah, right. But apparently the Times of India asked AJ Styles about the comments, and AJ Styles said, "I will not react at all coming from a guy like that who I don't respect anyway. It doesn't really matter. Look, my job as a performer is to perform and get fans' minds off of the things that happen throughout the world. I'm not going to react to people saying ridiculous and stupid things." Which, you know what, not for nothing, but AJ Styles burned the shit out of CM Punk.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and he doesn't respect him, probably, I can't even, I'm not even going to try to psychoanalyze it, but there's a lot of things that Punk's done that I guess from a wrestler's perspective would make him lose respect. Like even with the way things were, the fact that he didn't finish off his contract, and the way he walked out and left things like that. And the reason I could say that would make a lot of wrestlers not respect him is because although you are walking out on the company that you feel at the time is doing you wrong, you're also walking out on all of the people that are now trying that evening to put on a good product. It's going to not just affect the people who you're telling to fuck off like Triple H and Vince, but it's also going to affect the people, your brothers and sisters in the locker room who have to go on in 15 minutes, who've been really working hard on whatever their segments are, their things, and they really genuinely, they're not where you are. You know what I mean? Mentally, they're not where you are. They're okay with things. And why deprive them of having a good Raw because of your shit? At least if you leave at a planned point, even if you only gave a week's notice, you give them time to fix things. Walking away on the day during the performance fucks everybody over. Like imagine if this was Broadway, you know what I mean? It was like one of the things like Cats or Beauty and the Beast, and you had like one of your leads just before the curtain goes open just walk off, which I'm sure has happened. But you think of all the people who are part of this, who put work in for their roles and shit, that got dressed and came out here, that you just screwed.
Exactly.
And I think that might be part of the reason that they don't have respect for him.
And on top of that, like, how everything's been since he's come to Fox is just shitting on one thing after the other. It's like, dude, what are you bitching about? Like,
he strikes me as the kind of guy, in the beginning, I found it very unique, and I almost dare to say classy, where when he left, we didn't hear a single thing from CM Punk. It was like, wow, CM Punk, one of the most vocal mic pieces in the entire wrestling business, has left. And he let everybody speculate, which was beautiful. Even Moxley said recently, like, the silence drives people nuts. He let everybody speculate about where he was, what he was thinking, and what caused it. And say what you want about him, but that almost left people into their own interpretation and let them decide for themselves whether they like or respect this guy or not. Then he did that Cole Cabana podcast, which basically ended their friendship because the two of them got into a lawsuit and then they wound up suing each other over it. So there's some irony there. But it almost feels like when he finally did that Cole Cabana podcast where he talked shit, like he almost had like an explosion of shit to talk that still hasn't filtered all the way down the toilet since. Like, it's like he held on being quiet for so long that when it was finally time to talk, he couldn't stop talking. He was like, blah, 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 blah. He was like the Tasmanian devil, and he just hasn't stopped. And it went from being disrespectful, I'm not going to say anything, I have nothing to do with it, to now it's like, I have nothing to do with the business, but I'm also not going to shut the fuck up about it. I don't care about it. Nothing about it, interests me. I've moved on from it. But I'm just going to talk massive amounts of shit about it for a living. It's literally the opposite of where he was.
Complete opposite. And it's to the point where it's like, it's not even funny anymore. It's just irritating.
And I've never disliked the guy. I always thought he was great. But it just feels like there's no need for that right now. Like, not going to be part of the solution. Don't be part of the problem. Like, I get it. Some of it is funny, and we even played on here when it is. But damn, man, does it all have to be that? Thank you guys for all of the sparks today, George and Cool and everybody. That is awesome stuff right there. Love us some sparks.
Yeah. Right. Throw some dollars that way, don't you?
Nah, I don't want anybody to donate. I appreciate when you guys do, but we don't need to do any of that.
Yeah, we don't ask
here,
for that.
If you really want to ever help the community, we're on Twitter, or whatever your social media platform. My preference is Twitter, but you can like the stuff, support our tweets, retweet stuff that has to do with us. You can follow me at Ric Destin or Destin, who has a way weirder one.
Yeah. I was young. Okay.
But it's on the you could change it, by the way, but it's on it's on he's tagged in it, so you could see him there, like he's tagged on the top. You could just go to @TalkBrunch if you just want to follow the brand and not support one person individually. Just retweet, share the stuff, tell your friends. That's enough. That's more important to me than the money. That's always all right. Next story we got here. We got our girl Tammy Sunny.
Oh, I laughed and then I looked up. Ooh.
So she tweeted.
Oh no.
Right? 2 days in a row on hold with Lowe's customer service for 2 hours. 2 different female black operators. 2 times got no help, got attitude, and got hung up on. Way to represent your race. And y'all wonder why. ... Were you okay?
I had my phone in my hand, just browsing through Twitter, and then this dumb bitch. Oh my god!
He made you drop your phone.
Yes,
That's pretty racist, isn't it?
Yo, that is racism.
2 days in a row. I have to read this. I always have to read her shit.
Read it again.
2 days in a row on hold with Lowe's customer service for 2 hours. 2 different female black operators. 2 times got no help, got attitudes, and got hung up on. Way to represent your race, and y'all wonder why. Y'all wonder why,
motherfucker.
Wonder why. What? What are you trying to justify here?
The fact that nobody has any time for your irrelevant ass problems, bitch. Really?
And thank you, Hetty Vintage, for the follow. I believe that must have been over at Twitter. I just noticed I can see it up in the notifications when
thank you very much.
When it happened.
Chip, you know what? You just made the list.
Oh no! Oh, here we go.
I'm gonna make the notification pop no matter where you guys are. I'll have it by next week. It was busy enough putting the program together and just making all the new changes. You guys can see where higher quality, higher frame rate, higher colors, everything's improved. So like everything's faster responses here, and we're simulcasting. So just give me time. I swear that every time we come on, there's a new upgrade, and it'll continue to be that way. How? Because we've upgraded since 2014 without me missing a week of adding something new, whether you notice it or not. We don't always bring it up. Now, Tammy, you bitch, that is messed up.
Like, that is by far. Like, I don't think anybody on this show in this community should ever be allowed to defend this dumb bitch ever again. Like.
Yeah,
by far,
I've tried.
Dumbest thing that's ever come out of that mouth.
I've tried, but now it's like I can't do it anymore, man. Like there's times that the internet has attacked her, and maybe this is the reason why, because of the fact that there are enough times of her being out of line that people feel justified when they just jump on her for no reason. And
at this point, it's just like
now it's beyond disrespectful.
Over Lowe's. Like, really, dummy? Like, shit. First of all, whatever your problem was, no way in the world it was that serious. And then you go to social media.
Yeah.
And you wonder why you catch hell now. Like, I almost want freaking you and Jordan Grayson to be in an adventure. You could drive your ass on the ground. Like, that was the dumbest thing any person's seen. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like how? See, this is what happens when you don't put just like filters on people. Like put a muzzle around that stupid ass mouth of yours and just like shut up. Like if you don't have anything intelligent to say, just shut up. Which in your case, that means just shut up. Like.
Yeah, really. All right, let's get her dumb ass off the screen.
Right. So, I'm gonna fuck around and catch something just from that. Like,
your buddy seems to have returned. He's like a supervillain here.
Oh.
This freaking performance, this performance center stalker is back.
I shit y'all not. One of the wrestling groups, one of the wrestling pages I follow, actually, they shared the fucking live video of this guy. I sat there for a solid 40 minutes. Just marveled.
I can't give him 40 minutes.
No, not at all.
I don't even want to share this. So apparently, he got into something with Dana Brooke and Lacey Evans.
Yeah, basically,
let me see. Hold on, because if that's what this video is, I want to watch it first. I don't know if that's what it is, so no promises. But if that's what this video is, then I don't want it spoiled.
I'm not turning heel though. McMahon wants my family jewels. They said they were trying to crown me in Saudi Arabia. That's how big they were. I do that, then he's gonna try to shoot me. They're gonna take me back to jail.
Don't go near her, bro.
Can I get
She
a
would
pinky promise?
fucking ruin him. Oh my God, can you imagine?
You gonna take me to...
Oh, it'd be the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's a trap. It's a trap. I met you halfway.
It is a fucking
I
trap.
came all the way from my crib down the street.
Hey, I'll meet you halfway right here. 5 seconds and I'm leaving. You want the handshake? 5, 4,
I want a hug.
3. I'll give you a hug. 5, 4.
For real?
Girl, you gonna catch something.
He's gonna shoot me. You gonna take me to jail for this?
You have 5 seconds.
See?
All right, well, that's your opportunity and you lost it. So either you make the decision or I'm leaving. 1, 2, 3.
He's scared.
The opportunity
He's
what?
a
Did they
bitch.
be on Monday Night Raw?
You're a bitch.
This is your chance, honey. It's Monday and then
Like
What
in
happens
front of
when you never
super
seen a
star.
woman up close up?
Yep, you never seen a woman or a superstar.
Obviously, you don't make the decision. Your chance is up. Stay there and make a fool out of yourself.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go where?
He's crazy. That's probably it, guys. Because people like us probably never have girls before.
You gonna take me to jail for
He's
this?
intimidated in
Hold
2
on.
ways.
You guys are gonna take me
He's
to jail
too
for
crazy.
this?
This guy is really a problem.
Yo,
Is he gonna get a hug?
Nuts.
So it's a trap.
Just make common sense decisions.
Common sense. Common sense is Lacey and all you divas are trying to set me up to go back to jail. Hell nah. I love my freedom too much. I know. That's why they're trying to chop off my ring finger and put it in a refrigerator to bail McMahon out of debt for his extreme football league. No.
At
Y'all are
one
trying
point,
to
he
set
said
me
that
up.
McMahon
You
cut his
see
finger
him.
off.
He told me.
Listen, dude. If WWE had your finger chopped off, I think at that point you would definitely get an intervention from Wesley Snipes. I mean, there's no way that your dad is going to allow. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. At that point, I mean, I've seen this dude fight vampire.
So, minor highlights. At one point, I guess he was talking about the fact that his shit was greener than everybody else's. He kept mentioning a bucket.
Oh no!
At one point, I think there was this guy. I don't know who he was, but he they almost looked like they were gonna get into it, and they walked down the street, and he's literally sitting there like, "If you get close to me, I swear to God." Like it was.
George said Lacey's still running military missions for WWE. She sounded like she wasn't fucking around. That's how come That's how come he didn't take the hug. The hug didn't sound sincere to me.
That sounded like you was about to get a women's right for that fucking hug. Like,
yeah, let's not forget. This is a trained Marine, right?
When I saw this shit, I couldn't believe I was witnessing it live.
You caught him while he was streaming it?
No, I'm talking about like when I was watching it like on Facebook. I think at one point I even messaged you. I don't know if you ever saw it, but I was like, "Dear God, the PC guy is live on Facebook." Because in my head I'm going, I can't believe this is real. I gotta tell somebody. It's like seeing Bigfoot. Like, oh shit. Oh God. And that shot, the best part is that shot was my favorite part. Because he starts doing like calisthenics or some shit. Motherfucker was like, "You want to do a performance?" He does a weird ass, like, I don't know what it was. Like,
really?
Yes. It was the damnedest thing. It was the weirdest, like, workout calisthenic shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, this video was bananas. All right, like.
If you want, plug it later. I'm not sharing it. I have it set here for the bot to share it to social media. I can't promote this guy's shit, man. I never share his stuff out.
I'm scared.
I never share his stuff out.
Oh God, yeah. If I can ever track it down, I'll probably share it through my stuff, so you don't have to sacrifice it. Oh God. No, he's not getting over. He's getting a free admission to the loony bin. That's what he's getting. That's a special kind of crazy right there.
Loony bin crazy, right?
Like I said, how
has he not been committed though? Like, how has this guy not been taken away?
I have no idea. There were times when I was watching it and I'm sitting there going, okay, anytime now he's gonna drop the gimmick. Anytime now. And I'm sitting there going, he's still going.
No, his gimmick is part of him.
It's like Undertaker levels of commitment. The motherfucker said, "I will never break stride." George is right, man. He just
Undertaker
escapes every
levels
time.
of commitment.
That motherfucker decided 30 years ago, I'm gonna get crazy from sun up to sundown. Fuck it. Like, that's the kind of guy where it's like you wonder if he even sleeps.
I'm sure he does. He probably expels all his energy and is dead to the world.
He's only crazy. He's only normal when he's asleep. Oh shit. I saw that shit happen and I was like, I wonder if it's gonna come up tonight. I was like, it's close enough. It might.
Oh, it did.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It totally did. Okay, all right. We got to get him the hell off of our Tron there.
Yeah.
He said maybe it's Enzo's kid.
Oh, if that's the case, that's the one time when Enzo should have pulled out.
Okay, let's continue here. Just needed a sip of that coffee before we jump to whatever else we have. We have
You gotta de-crazy for a second.
Yeah, exactly. So the Forgotten Sons. There's more news on them. We spoke last week about how too bad when the Tron cuts it out for me. Tron cuts it out for me, man. It's only there when we're not you're not interrupting something important. But thank you for the sparks in the Charlie Brown. I love watching him miss the football. One of my favorite things is how he used to miss the football. You know my favorite one? Quick segue before we get into this. My favorite one was the one where he learned how to be invisible. And,
yeah.
So he legit was kicking the football over and over again, and like she couldn't see where it was. But then finally, towards the end of the night, like it started to wear off. So like she's looking, and all of a sudden she's like, "What the?" And like the only thing that became visible was like his teeth, and like I think like the feet. So you just see like these smiling teeth coming at her faster and faster. And finally, just before he's about to do that kick, she yanks and you hear "ah!" like that sound he used to make. Ah!
There's certain things that have lasted the test of time, and that bit is one of them.
That is definitely one of them. Okay. Anyway, so the Forgotten Sons, apparently, like we talked about Gunner, as we know him in TNA, Jackson Riker, tweeted about Donald Trump.
You put that around, buddy.
And a lot of people turned heel on him or accused him of turning heel. And according to Fightful, they lost their push, which I told you, I was like, that's the end of that. Fightful saying that they were supposed to be getting a push, but after that, they said that they lost it. They said he was liked before this, but apparently the other two guys distanced themselves from him. They even went to a meeting with Mark Carrano and other wrestlers, leaving him out of the meeting. And they stopped playing video packages of these guys. They weren't at the last set of TV tapings. They're not in the plans for the next set of TV tapings. They were supposed to have like a feud with New Day. Apparently, they've been told that that's off the table now. And there's no heat on Blake or Cutler or whatever his name is. It's mainly heat on him, and most people apparently feel bad that they're being caught up in it. So they might, who knows, maybe they'll do something for them. But like I said last week, he on the other side sounds fucked.
Yeah. Oh, he was fall burned out.
Damn, man. I've watched this guy, Gunner, since fucking he was with Murphy in TNA when they were security. Remember? Like, geez, and we talked about the grind that he made, all that, and a Donald Trump tweet ended everything for this dude, man.
That bitch.
Man. I
Man.
can't believe it, man. Rest in peace, Push. What are your thoughts on him losing the push? Because do you think that it's well deserved? Do you think he deserved it? Do you think he should have shut up? Do you think they should have not taken it seriously? Or how do you feel?
So when I look at it, it'd be one thing if he was just running down somebody's lifestyle. It'd be one thing if he was just like, let's say, like shooting off at like a higher up or something like that. All he did was support the leader of the country that this man has killed people for. So it bothers me because I'm like, so his opinion that didn't realistically affect anybody else basically screwed things up for the three of them. Like, even saying it then, I'm trying to figure out what he did that was so terrible as to kill their entire push. Which basically they were set for a push with their tag team champions. Like, is this what the world is now?
And like Stace pointed out, from a company of Trump supporters, the corporate aspect of it, yes, but not the locker room. Which is funny that you would think that being good in corporate and not what the locker room generally gets you in, but everything's turned on its head.
Because if I'm corporate, I'm like, fuck what the locker room thinks.
He buried himself faster than Lars. Can you believe that? Think about that, George. I'm glad you brought that up. Can you believe that it almost looks like they're more forgiving of you not telling them that you were in guy on guy porn than they are that you chose a president to support the current president?
Fucking nuts.
Oh man,
I don't even get it anymore.
You're telling me all of that sucks.
Like, for all three of them? Really? All three? Why all three gotta go? He'll do a good job of trying to pretend that we don't remember shit. Just put the other two out there. Write them off an injury ankle, something. No, all three gotta go.
All three had to go. All right. Well, in other news, EC3 bought his WWE action figure, apparently.
I literally just heard about this earlier.
Did you? I'm just hearing about this now. I don't do that.
Wow.
Let's see what the hell this is here.
Like, when I say earlier, I'm talking about in the middle of Rick Rand. That's not early.
My very own action figure. There he is. There you go. Yes. There you go, you mind? Thank you. Cheers. Oh, wow, that's pretty expensive.
How much is it? $25?
Wow.
Damn.
How cool is it to buy your very own action figure at a Target?
Garbage, 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 garbage.
Oh.
For anyone that's listening on iTunes or whatever, EC3 bought his own action figure, wrung it out, went outside and threw it in the trash. That's what he thinks of it right now.
That's funny. That made me laugh.
That is, as you would say, too real. He
Too real.
It's art imitating life, because that's what they more or less did to him, right?
That motherfucker got so meta in such a quick second.
He sure did.
God.
All right. I think we're good here. It's time to let's talk about the weeklies, because we do have to talk about the weeklies a bit. That's like the most important thing here. We're making good time, and I want to continue to do that. So AEW Dynamite, you can bring up whatever the hell you want. We don't go over everything anymore, but you can bring up whatever the hell you feel like, and I'll do the same.
Yeah, actually, truth be told, one of the things I actually wanted to bring up briefly was, I believe, from this past Dark, because we got a little bit of a reunion.
Okay.
Basically, the main event for this Dark was Jon Moxley versus a man by the name of Robert Anthony. For you who don't know that name,
it was his old buddy from a long time ago or something.
From CZW.
Right. I remember seeing the pictures and hearing this story. You are correct.
And Moxley was actually really excited about this match, because it was basically I think he said something along the lines of, it's going to be stiff, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah. And Kula, we're running short on time, man. And we were basically talking in general, not specifically to you. But we're trying to get this shit wrapped up here. Got shit to do.
It was a busy one. It was not going down. But maybe one of these days. But Yeah, it was really cool. Of course, Moxley wound up going over the Cloverleaf, made Anthony tap out, but it was cool to see Moxley have a reunion with an old friend. So
That's good to hear.
you don't see too many of those very often. So
Right.
and you could see throughout the match he was genuinely excited. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Dynamite itself, that was very, very entertaining. Had a little cameo. I mean, one of the things that stuck out right with me was the Darby Allin promo where I saw Tony Hawk for the first time in like 6 years.
So, look, Darby Allin needs to be. I get it; it's cool and everything, but don't be stupid, my man. Did you see what he did? I'm gonna show you what he did when we was in a hotel room with Tony Hawk.
Yeah, it was like a little like mini skate park or some shit. I don't...
Look at what he does here.
Oh, this. There's a fine line between no fear and fear.
Like, am I the only fucking person here who thinks that's fucking crazy?
He goes 3 feet to the left. Snap, snap.
Dude.
Oh,
Look, he jumped out of the hotel into the pool. Fuck that. Yeah. What do you have to prove?
Undertaker levels of commitment. I am crazy on camera. I am crazy off camera.
Not fucking worth it, man. Not worth it at all.
Good thing he picked a deep end. That's not like him.
I can't even believe it. Tony Hawk allowed this to happen. You got to tell this guy, listen, dude, you are too young. I'm an old man because I didn't do dumb shit like this. Look at this. Look at it.
I didn't even know this happened.
Jumped off the balcony into the pool. I know people are curious about this.
People do that before and it ends terribly.
Of course it ends terribly. You're not supposed to do that shit. Imagine if there was shallow, if it was a little more shallow than he thought.
Oh my god, that motherfucker rolled the shit out of both his ankles.
But yeah,
it would have been the funniest injury road ever.
But yeah, there was a video package with Darby Allin hanging out with Tony Hawk. You guys can watch the actual AEW. I just wanted to show you the little thing. They didn't show this. I wanted you guys to see that.
I didn't know this existed. Like,
yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, I mean, standout things. We got the first official match of FTR going over Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah, FTR with Butcher Blade, no bunny here. You know, now that they have the real thing, they don't need the imitation anymore.
Exactly.
You know,
they went over with their basically was their new finisher, which is the spike pile driver called the Mindbreaker.
Yes, it's called the Mindbreaker, and the double spike pile driver, and they also renamed the Shatter Machine the Goodnight Express.
Yeah, which they tried. I think they hit on the Butcher, I believe, and they kind of struggled just a tad bit because I mean, he's a little chunky monkey, so.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to see they're still using the move. So.
Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know what their official entrance is, I'm gonna take a look at it here. I don't mind it.
Gonna take a little getting used to, but I like it.
Tore it down, waiting on them, but they here now. Here they come to burn the town like hungry and cheap. Double A, they'll send your soul to judgment day. Respect the past and what it say. You better move your ass out of the way.
I like that, man. I really do. Now I really heard
like
it.
That. That's nice. It has a little bit of an NWO vibe. Was I the only one catching it?
What's that?
Was I the only one catching like a hint of like an NWO vibe with like the filter with the end?
Well, just the black and white, I guess.
Yeah.
That really works. They did a really good job capturing the feel of what they are, you know?
Oh yeah. Down, dirty, and gritty.
cool, man. I like it.
I'm so
I like
happy
it.
they're here.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this. Now they're with some wrestlers, so we get to do wrestling stuff. But yeah, they had that debut match
course,
against Butcher and Blade. Very cool
And
stuff.
of course, the Bucks wound up coming out and very much saying it's nice to meet you finally. So
Yeah, yeah.
getting ever so closer to that Young Bucks FTR match we've been waiting for.
Yeah, they talked about how they didn't properly get to introduce themselves last time, but then they were going to get to. But then that gets interrupted by a bunch of heels and a whole bunch of a brawl breaks out, and then even the other elite guys wind up coming out to try to diffuse things there.
Yeah, he got a little crazy.
Yeah.
I love how Jericho, who was out there with Floyd the Bat on commentary, I love how every time Omega so much as gets on camera, he just gets pissed. He goes, "Look at Omega with his stupid." I was like, "Calm down, man." He does it every time. It's funny.
So then the Revival, I believe this was exclusively online, but they had like a little bit of a post interview where they just talked about their experience being here.
You guys had an amazing debut on Dynamite tonight, and a lot of looks from the coaches in AEW. What's your thoughts?
Kind of exactly how we had planned it. This went better than expected for us. It's been a while since we've been in the ring, so you never really know what to expect. You got some rust, but it felt like old times out there. And like you said, we had a bunch of coaches out there, and it's all guys that we've looked up to our whole careers, and that we kind of model ourselves after. So to have their eyes and knowing what they can bring to the table and help us with, that's exciting.
Man, no wonder everybody likes him way more than like me. He's a little humble boy, huh? Well, I ain't too humble. Of course we had the eye of all those guys. I mean, we're the absolute best tag team on this planet, and there ain't a team in this company, there ain't a team around the world that can put a sock on my foot that holds the boot for them to lace it. Ain't gonna happen. So of course we had Arn and Tully and Jake and everyone else watching the debut of FTR, because the debut of FTR means there's a little bit more money, a little bit more prestige coming to this promotion and coming to the tag team division. And now you're welcome. You've got the pinnacle of the tag team division, and that's FTR. But for now, until next week,
FTR out.
Goodbye.
See, I know I putting sock on too. See, but you want to tweet at them? What do you want?
Good old socks.
Oh God.
Yeah, don't forget that I probably won't. I mean, I fucking coined it, but just in case, my mind's scatterbrained lately.
Oh, believe me, you know I'm quick at writing shit down. So.
Yeah. So the Inner Circle, they basically wind up beating Orange Cassidy with oranges. They pick up oranges.
This was amazing.
They wallop that motherfucker with oranges. Jericho's such a heel. He takes a big sack of oranges, busts him over there. He even pulls an orange out. He bites into that shit like it's an apple, like he's Carlito. He's like, even though you're not supposed to do it, and that's the wrong peel. That's what a rebel uses. Like, and he starts spitting it all over. Heel Jericho with the orange in his mouth. Poor Cassidy bleeding. We got color, y'all, as Kula would say, because he got orange busted open. Blood orange is what Jericho called it, right?
I love how he goes, Orange Cassidy just got juiced. I was like, oh my God.
That sounded so bad. It sounded like something you would hear from McBain. You remember McBain in The Simpsons? It was like an imitation Arnold Schwarzenegger / Bruce Willis. He was their own guy, McBain. It sounds like some shit that you hear like, oh, you just got juiced. You know, it's like, is this seriously happening now? It's fucking insane. I can't believe some of the shit that they do during this.
I never want to see Jericho beat a man with a bag of oranges, but I need to see it again. You know what I wanted to be? I think I even told you earlier, like, I wanted to be like freaking, it's a signature weapon. Like when Abyss used to bring out the tax and TNA, like, oh God, Jericho's got the orange.
Oh man. So Matt Hardy shows up here to confront Sammy Guevara. I don't know if they're trying to push Sammy Guevara to be a babyface because he's doing the whole thing. He has nothing against the guy. But this was nuts because he brings out the Matt 2.0 stuff, but it's not called Matt 2.0. What was it called again? It had a different name.
Oh, shit. I can't even remember.
I don't even remember what it was. But
because it wasn't Matt 2.0. That's what's so weird about it.
So they wouldn't get sued. But yeah, they did the Matt 2.0, the little screen and stuff with the graphic, and he turned into all the different Matt Hardys as he's coming down the ramp, not becoming like, it's a little bit much, you know. Like I kind of wish that just so it doesn't lose its entire mystique, I wish he would just stick to certain ones for a certain amount of time. like the way Foley
Yeah.
would do. Like, don't just turn on the fly like that. You know, don't be weird.
Like I
about it.
kind of like I'm kind of like on the fence about it. Like I like it sometimes and I hate the others. Like sometimes I'm just like, yeah, stick with one for a minute. But then I also like the fact we don't know what Matt Hardy we're gonna get this week.
Exactly. I'm right there with you.
It's kind of a hit or miss. Like I almost don't like it or hate it.
And you know what, man? Not for nothing. I get that everyone likes the woken Matt or the broken Matt or whatever. But the few times he's turned back into like the regular Matt, it's made me actually miss that Matt and those promos where he sounds like a regular guy talking about how he's known these guys and they go way back. You know, and it's kind of like, you know what it reminded me? It's like we all forget that the guy's just generally a good promo, not just when he's in these crazy gimmicks, because whenever he switches, sometimes it's more intense when he's just a regular Matt Hardy. You know, so I kind of like want to see more of that. I don't need to always be entertained. Like all that other stuff's fun, don't get me wrong, but I don't need that all the time. You know what I mean?
I think what it seems like the AEW is doing, and it's actually good they're doing it this way. They're making it so when Broken Matt or Damascus shows up, it's special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
You don't get burnt out on it.
Yeah. What else stood out to me? Is Moxley getting assaulted by Killer Cross in the parking lot, or whoever that guy is again? What's his name?
Brian Cage.
Brian Cage. Same shit. Same shit. Just one of them just doesn't have a girlfriend.
Hey, one can wrestle.
I legit. I didn't even mean to fuck him up like that.
That's fucked up. Cage can wrestle, sir.
All right, whatever, man. Killer Cross and Moxley have this parking lot brawl.
He did again, too. That's like what had to be on purpose.
I'm losing track of all these big, mean-looking dudes that have the same shit going on. You know, whatever. Some guy attack Moxley. He'll get him.
I just know for the third time he just gave up some guy. Oh, shit.
I'm a better name. Jesus. Cody had a match against Mark Quinn, which I give credit to them for having such a solid match and making this guy look so good. I don't like the new Private Party music as much as the old one. The old one was really fun. This one is not so much. I get what they were going for, but they took everything I liked away from their entrance. I used to really like the old music with the guy there and give him money and you get put through the thing. I used to look forward to that shit, and now it's just totally gone.
My whole thing with the new one, it just feels like there's a little less energy there. It feels more tame.
That's what it is. That's what it is. The old one had like they used to always get excited, you know?
It's not even that I don't like the new music. I just don't like the pacing of the new music.
Yeah, because I used to feel excitement because you know that they're both good in the ring, and then like they're doing that. It was like a good hype song, you know.
Yeah.
And now it's just gone. I'm gonna miss that because that was cool. I always, without me knowing, remember think about it before I even knew it was gonna change. I always talked about how that was one of my favorite things, just the way it looked and sounded. And it's like I don't know what happened there, but
I'll eventually adjust and get used to the new music. But it's just there was something about that original one. But
they got to bring the guy back at least. You know, the bouncer. Yeah. That to me, that's half at least. Make him a manager or something, man. Pick a good guy that's like then, man. Make him a manager. You know.
Yeah.
What else happened? We had a freaking Hager attack at one point, right?
Where Hager went after Cody after the match.
At the end of this, and then man, the Private Party guys show up, and even though one was all fucked up, they threw their chairs at the guy. Like literally, this guy's blocking chairs with his arms and face.
The motherfucker got 2 Sabu chair tosses.
Yeah, and then Jim Ross is putting over how it took all of them doing all of this to get him out of the ring, and he staggers back up the ramp. Lots of interesting stuff going on. Anything else stand out to you about AEW?
That was pretty much it. I mean, Cody made it clear, hey, you get your championship match at Fyter Fest. So
yeah, good stuff, Which
is literally going to be subject to change because he's still going to be defending the belt every week.
Exactly. I like that.
So it's going to be very unpredictable. So
yeah. NXT, things that stood out to me. The Roderick Strong thing. Poor Roderick Strong being given an angle where he's scared of Dexter Loomis and the guys are materializing out of everywhere. It's like, kick that guy's ass. What are you doing? You're Mr. Wrestling. You were former Ring of Honor World Champion.
Mr. Wrestling probably got taken to the booty dungeon.
Used to beat up Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards all the time. And anyone who knows the Indies knows that's a big fucking deal. You're not going to be some guy who beats those two up if you're not serious shit. You should not be scared of Dexter Loomis.
I tell you something about Dexter Loomis if he has fought.
I don't know about that, man. I disagree. You're putting I could put that guy above the kind of wrestler. I mean, I like him. I like the guy and I like the personality. But shit, he just got there. You have this guy in fear. I get it's a storyline, but meh.
He sold it well for me. Mm-hmm. He made me laugh.
You got Mia Yim, who You know, she was having her match with her buddy, her boyfriend, her hubby Keith Lee against the Garganos, which was very good. Lots of unique offense, like when Lee had both of them on his shoulders, and then Gargano manages to break free, and then he hits Lee, making Candice inadvertently tornado DDT Lee, and then she kind of like pops for herself, like, look what I was able to do. Like, she's all very proud that this happened. Just cool sequences and stuff. I like this feud, and I like them all together. I think it all works really good.
I love Mia getting to almost revert back to her indie days. She German suplexed everybody.
Yeah, that was
and you,
pretty
you
cool.
can see, and you can she got excited when she got the Johnny. Like, oh, here we go, motherfucker.
And the good stuff. I don't know if the Robbie E. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about the ending of this, because I thought it was really interesting. Shitty Gargano. So he goes for that that what is it called again? The that spot that he does, the DDT.
It really they've never named it, but
it's like a draping DDT. You know, it's almost like a draping. It's like a slingshot draping DDT. But at this point, it was just a slingshot DDT, and he's bringing Keith Lee down. And Candice is on the ground, so he inadvertently splashes her when he gets DDT'd. And this leads him to regain consciousness eventually and see what he did to Candice, and he's picking her up, like sort of like the way the baby faces do. He's like giving her honeymoon carry, and Gargano takes advantage of that, and he covers him, rolls him up, and she rolls away, and he wins, and he goes away with her unconscious body. Like, he's holding her hand up like she's celebrating.
She was like, yeah, she was like,
oh
God.
Slime ball.
This bitch is half dead. This motherfucker's like, yeah.
Robbie E gets thrown in the trash by Rhea Ripley when he tries to press to be her manager. I wonder if that means that was that them writing him off? You know, is that the beginning of the changes? Vince doesn't like Robbie E, so now he's in the garbage, and we'll never see him. Is this kind of like what happened to Buff Bagwell, where Kurt Angle and Stone Cold showed him the door?
Oh God,
that might have been it, man. I'm not saying it is,
man.
but I mean, they took all his. Why would they break him off being the manager? Like, I think that's it. We'll see though. We have Hijo de Fantasma.
I called it.
Yeah. So wow. Look at this motherfucker.
Called it.
You know what? Let's show it. I'm gonna show you guys this shit. Can't even believe it.
Trying to get involved in the tournament finals match last week. They've tried to go after Phantasma multiple times.
Yeah, Maverick and Phantasma standing in the center of the ring, trying to keep the masked men at bay.
We know their intentions can't be good.
What about El Hijo del Fantasma's intentions?
Oh my God!
Wait a minute! El Hijo del Fantasma and the two masked men just
it was him all along. He caused all of this. He even cost Drake Maverick almost his job, but certainly his cruiserweight title. Are we supposed to know who those guys are when they unmask?
That's Joaquin Wild and Raul Mendoza, the two guys who got kidnapped.
Right. It's DJ Z and the Mendoza dude. You're right. I didn't recognize him.
This does not bode well.
And then he unmasked too. So now he's an unmasked guy, so he'll look like everybody else. And they give him a new shitty name, I heard, right?
Yeah. Santos Escobar. He sounds like a Mexican drug lord.
This is the last. What's this? The fucking last boss of a Far Cry game?
No one can touch.
Oh my God, it's not good. Oh! Then they get the double splash. That's pretty shitty.
Yeah, that name just killed it for me like that.
Santos Escobar.
He sounds like if you were making a shitty reboot to start the Scarface, that's what you name the guy. Yeah, but I fucking called it.
Yeah.
I saw it and I was like, no way.
There it is. It works though. We called it because it made the most sense and it works. But it's just the way they did it. The Escobar thing, they could have gone without.
Yeah. He could have just still been El Hijo de Fantasma.
Mm-hmm. So what was the main event of this? It was Adam Cole against what's his name? Dexter Lumis.
Yeah. Dexter Lumis and poor fucking Roderick Strong, still scared the whole damn time.
He was terrified. He showed him. He's like, he's right there. Look out. And all this other nonsense. I'm not liking that angle.
Yeah, that part kind of, because it's like it wouldn't have bothered me if it wasn't the third time where fucking Mauro goes, oh, he was here, and it's like, yeah.
What was the finish to this again?
The finish wound up being basically last shot. Adam Cole goes over. But what made it interesting was what happened directly after, because earlier in the night, Keith Lee had basically gone up to Adam Cole and made it clear, hey, he's coming for the NXT Championship, but he's not the only one.
Yes, because also, what's his name? Brian Cage also came out and challenged for it. I'm sorry. Killer Cross, Karrion Kross, that guy came out, he challenged for it.
Scarlett came out with an hourglass and flipped it over. I couldn't believe he said it. I was like, no fucking way he did it.
I'm trolling the shit out of that.
Motherfucker did it again.
Anyway,
you better be lucky it was funny, you fuck.
He came out and challenged, and we'll see what's going to happen there. But this was Adam Cole's response to everything.
Bang, bang.
You did exactly what we set out to do.
I even have the hiccups, guys. This sucks.
Undisputed Era, apologies for the interruption. Quite the week for you, Bobby, Roderick especially.
Quite the week. I haven't seen my son in 3 days, and I miss him very much. And I got locked in that trunk, and I fucking hate trunks.
I know. We know you hate trunks.
Understand, Bobby.
You had to deal with
So
that.
we're gonna need to go to therapy about this. This is not something that I can overcome very easily.
All right. Well, then
you know how I feel.
Then we will take care of this.
You guys, okay, I've been.
You know, them
thinking
hiccups
about
are stressing
a lot of
him
stuff,
out.
and obviously dealing with Dexter has been a major priority. But now, guys, I got a lot of people gunning for my NXT championship. I've had Finn Balor talking trash, Keith Lee trying to get in my face, and now what? Karrion Kross going out and leaving like a, what's that thing called?
This place gets creepier by
whatever.
the day.
This weird clock, and they're trying to prove something to me, like I'm going to be afraid. It's like they forget that I am the greatest NXT champion there has ever been. I've had this title for over a freaking year.
Yeah.
Nobody can beat me. I don't care if it's 3-on-1. Nobody can beat me. I'm the greatest.
You don't sweat
I'm the
that
greatest.
guy.
Of course
Go play
not.
Halloween somewhere else, Goose.
I'm gonna eat. Okay, we're gonna leave now, but I'm either gonna eat peanut butter or start drinking water upside down.
I'll hang you up.
The hiccups freaking suck.
Yeah, they do.
You let Dexter Lumis scare you.
Yeah, let's try hard. And he'll do it till it works.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're wrapping up here. Raw, real quick. Anything stand out to you about Raw? I mean, I'm going to go real quick. What just stands out to me, and I pray to God maybe you don't have much more, but we had the Lashley-Lana segment where MVP calls Lana a thot. And I think that might be
awesome.
That might be the first time in wrestling that someone was called a thot.
I think it was.
Congratulations, MVP. I feel like I wish I had a cork of something to pop here and drink to that. He's like, I've never heard of you. You popped the thought cherry.
I don't know how to feel about that comment, but okay.
For anyone following me on Twitter, you saw that I tweeted out Lashley, my favorite Lashley quote, when he said, "When was the last time you were more than a bunch of likes on social media?" Which I recommend all social media thoughts ask themselves. That's what I said on social media. And I'm turning such a heel on Twitter, right?
Now we're going to have thought heat. Like,
everybody hates me on Twitter right now, so I figure, fuck it, I'm double downing. I'm quoting Bobby Lashley. That's when you know I'm going for... They already hate me for inspirational tweets, right? So fuck it. How about that? Your social media thoughts? When's the last time you were more than a tweet? I don't care anymore. I'm getting heat while trying to put my show together for a few things. Whatever. I don't even care.
Okay. I welcome the thought heat.
What else stood out to me? Tozawa showed up again with his big black ninja. And I don't mean that the way that it sounds on this show.
You know what the bad part is? That's the first thing I thought when he said it.
I swear it was a big black actual ninja. A master of ninjutsu.
I was crying when he said that. I was like, oh my God.
You know, and he's threatening the Viking prophets. And I don't know which one of the Vikings said, but it popped me. Well, what are we going to do, fam?
I think it might have been fucking Ivo. It might have been Eric.
What are we going to do, fam? He said to those guys are awesome. I want that to stay that way. Keep them all four together. Perfect.
And they ain't gonna last long because they made the announcement they're fighting for the tag titles, an actual match next week.
Whatever. The Usos and New Day are still friends.
Yeah, maybe they're gonna beat the shit out of each other and then have a steak afterwards. Huh?
I did enjoy seeing Dominic get his hands on Rollins during the Ramos promo and the Disciples getting away. They were trying to foreshadow. I guess they were trying to tease us that Dominic is part of the freaking cult or whatever, but he really wasn't. and he showed his thing there. And it was interesting watching like Ray. He's watching worried like the whole time. Go back and watch that segment. That's what did it for me. Dominic's running around. He's throwing people between the ropes. He's jumping. He's escaping. And the whole time Ray's on the Tron just with a worried face, like, oh no, no. And then when he finally gets away, Ray's like, oh, thank God he got away. Like it's like funny watching someone watch from the Tron.
He had that look when you know it's the finale of your favorite horror movie. He's like, oh shit, oh God, is he gonna die? Oh God, oh Jesus, he made it.
Yeah. And what else did I guess the big main event thing was the fact that somehow R-Truth managed to arrange it for there to be a WWE Championship match where him and Drew McIntyre have to fight MVP and Bobby Lashley, and if they pin Truth or Drew, either way, they're gonna win the world title.
It was supposed to be both belts on the line, winner take all, and then fucking Drew was like, take care of it. This motherfucker was like, okay, we got it to where just your title's on the line. And Drew had this look like, motherfucker.
They didn't lose any titles though. Oh, right, that's because he switched it. Yeah, so they could have had 2 titles. If he would have just left, if Truth would have left it alone, they would have had all those titles, you know?
Yeah, originally, if they would have left it, if Lashley's team would have won, both Truth and Drew would have lost their belts.
Man, they blew it. Obviously, that's not the direction they were going to go in, but within the kayfabe of the story, what a stupid decision.
Right.
You could literally been crowned with everything, bro. What are you doing?
Oh my God! But yeah, the finish wound up being a Claymore, but then a Claymore on MVP. But then Drew tags in Truth, and Truth goes over the body splash.
To think, look at that. Truth, after all the weeks of ass walloping that this poor guy's getting, and I gotta say, and now he's sort of asking for it, because before it was kind of like he just happened to cross through with Lashley and MVP. Now it's kind of like he's just seeking them out, like, hey assholes. Things don't look so good for you, huh? You know, he doesn't even seem like he's dumb anymore. And I just seems like, hey, you fools, look what happened to you.
I just love how when he was trying to give his condolences and he couldn't figure out the word condolences.
Yeah, Condoleezza? Condolences? Nah, dog.
Here's my condiments. Like, fuck what?
Oh, too funny. I did like that. I like the Truth stuff, even if it's with the Lashley stuff, and I even like the MVP stuff. It's mainly it's mainly Bobby Lashley's involvement, even though he is the center of it, that sort of puts me off about it. Isn't it messed up that the guy who I'm least interested in hearing or seeing is the guy who's most involved?
Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah, no, it really is a bitch. But anyway, this is after the match here, apparently. Let's see what the hell happened. I'm sure there's more comedy here.
R-Truth, congratulations on your victory tonight.
We need that. We need that congratulations. Thank you, sir.
Drew, coming off last night, Backlash, defeating Lashley and retaining your WWE Championship. Now, coming in tonight and tagging with the 24/7 champion, R-Truth.
I-95 South, European.
Great, thank you. And defeating both MVP and Lashley. Talk about the last 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, the match with Lashley was incredibly physical. I'm feeling it today. You know, I said I'm a fighting champion and no matter what, you know, I'm going to take on anybody. I did not expect this challenge tonight. Nonetheless,
it was a present, dog. It was a present from me to you. Yeah.
Oh, I get it. You're looking for me to prove myself that I'm a fighting champion.
You said it, man. You said it. That's why I figured it'd be best to put your WWE Championship title on the line.
Okay, well, I mean, we got away with it this time. I've got an idea. Since I proved I deserve to be WWE Champion, how about next time we put your 24/7 Championship on the line? I mean, it's technically on the line right now, but I'm watching your back. But we put it officially out there in tag match maybe next time. Just an idea.
Drew, this is the WWE Universe, dog. I'm not about being selfish. This is about you. This is about the WWE Champion, dog. I'm much obliged, but this is about Drew McIntyre right now. And you're a fighting champion.
What can I say?
That's all we have to say right now.
I appreciate it. Just please don't do me any more favors. Look, we're even, we're square. In fact, I owe you 6. Just no more favors, please.
No, I gotta go talk to him.
I owe you 6.
I gotta go talk to him right now. No, Drew, it's not like that.
I love how Drew just segue away from that shit. Like, no, man, this is about you. This is about you.
Mm-hmm. Pretty terrible stuff going on here with that. But it was, at least it's entertaining, and I do like Drew as a top guy here. It's a shame that this is happening now, but it will get better, I think. and he does work.
He's been impressing more and more as time goes on.
The only other thing that happened, the most important thing, I guess, was Randy Orton, Legend Killer, has returned because he antagonizes Christian and challenges him to basically like a no-holds-barred, unsanctioned fight
pretty
without
much
honor,
non-sanctioned
basically.
because they won't actually clear Christian.
Right, and then this basically turns into, I guess, what would be considered like a pretty shitty situation across. Why Christian didn't see this coming becomes a little bit questionable. I know people that were watching were even shocked. Don't tell me what about this was going to shock you. Let's just take a look here. I guess this is afterwards. Okay, so essentially what happened was Ric Flair comes out as a babyface but turns heel when it looks like he's trying to defuse Orton and Christian from fighting. He low blows, Mr. Evolution low blows Christian, and Randy Orton punts him.
I don't know how.
And this is afterwards. This is the network exclusive where Orton's watching Christian's body being taken away.
Yeah. I love how like concerned he is, like he didn't just take this man's head off like 3 seconds earlier.
Can I help? Can I help? Yeah, and then like, no, just get back. You can't help. You want to hold the ropes open?
Right here, an apex predator has its favorite prey.
Poor Christian.
What we're seeing tonight is the return of the Legend Killer.
And that says Christian being stretched out. This will be more heat for when Edge comes back, which, by the way, the injury is apparently something you can recover from between 4 to 8 months. So we'll have to see how his recovery progress goes. That rules him out of SummerSlam, though.
Yeah, because that was their original plan, have them go against SummerSlam, but
worst case, it also rules him out of the Royal Rumble. And apparently whatever the injury was, we're being told that it's not even something you saw during the match. They had a part that they wanted to retape, and that's when he got injured. On a second take that they wanted to do or something. You see what I'm talking about, though? It's over-editing shit. Just let the thing be. You didn't even have an opportunity before this to have a second take. What do you think this is? What, are you doing a Martin Scorsese film now? We're going to have Robert De Niro and shit here and Joe Pesci? But basically just him being stretched away. Yeah, that sucks. He's not going to flip the stretcher over. Are we going to get one of those? No? Let's see how much is left in the file. No, it's right at the end. There's not enough time for him to flip anything over. It's just going to be Christian being carried away. Christian, at last, you're on your own.
Remember when he first started editing that song and he used to skip at the end?
Yeah.
You're on your
rough stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think that is a wrap here.
That's all, folks.
That is all. We had a lot of fun. At least I know I did. I hope you did too. That being said. Oh, go ahead. Listen.
I was going to say, yeah, if you're not sensitive, you had fun.
Yeah, you had fun. Don't forget, guys, we have content throughout the week. Talkbrunch.com. Also check the other social media platforms we usually announce before we're going to go on. There's more to life than wrestling. We do lots of other stuff, and it might surprise you what interests you. That being said, thank you to everyone who hung out with us for the entire evening, starting with E-Mang, Willie V2, Stasis Dreams, Cooler Ice, Sugar Shane, George with a Z at the end, Clyde Nice, thank you for the host also, Makazi Strom, which I know you're Zen State, you're the Zen State guys, thank you for that auto host there for supporting us. Heady Vintage over on Twitch, thank you sir. Mark710, as always, glad to have you here. Phoenix V, Silent Sword V, Eniction, sorry if I'm getting that wrong, Skedgervoy, Danny Boy 1783. Also, those of you that were here for the post show yesterday, which concluded Clyde 22, Weekly Planet, AK Ali, TP Astro, Komodo Dragon. All of you listening on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, Podcast Addict, across all platforms. There's no script to this, so sorry if I forgot you. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Talk Brunch live as always. This is episode 390, hosted by yours truly, Rick Dara, aka Captain Brunch. For myself and Destin, we are out of here.
Y'all want that shoot, so y'all better speak up.
Shut it down.